Charts do the wave like they know I'm that guy. Woo! Bulls break loose when I whisper a trade. Your stock's in the red, guess who got paid? Ha! Strutting and swayed with the alligator boots. Come on! Got your lady by the waist, now she loving my moves. Yeah! Ticker tape fall like confetti in the air. I make a bear turn bull with a devilish stare. Woo! Velvet Kohrs. Feather in the hat, diamonds in the door. Velvet Kohrs. Turn one into 10, then flip it some more. Velvet Kohrs. Cash like waves keep crashing the shore. Velvet Kohrs. Top of the game, better check the scoreboard. That Midas touch, every bet go gold. While you playing checkers, I'm running the whole board. Damn. Limit up, limit down, baby, I don't flinch. Yeah, dipped in velvet, pockets deep like a trench. Woo! Got my feet on the desk, Wall Street's on my line. Ring, ring. Saying velvet, how you do it, every call so divine. Told him, listen, little player, I was born to shine. I see green every morning when I open my eyes. Ooh, they jealous of the game. Yeah. Velvet Kohrs. Ooh, they whispering my name. Velvet Kohrs. Charts go wild when I step on the floor. Velvet Kohrs. Trend so hot, gotta mop up the floor. Velvet Kohrs. If I cash out, market begs me for more. Velvet Kohrs. Drip too clean, yeah, my game too pure. Y'all ain't never seen a player this cold. Velvet Kohrs. Stealing your girl, printing money in gold. Velvet Kohrs. From the charts to the clubs, my legend unfolds. Just watching while my pockets explode.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. It's already going to be a very, very exciting day. A mere minute or two ago, we got an update that we have a preliminary deal struck between the U.S. and China in terms of the trade war that's currently going on. Caused the market to go a little bit haywire, but in reality, it's now kind of unchanged. But it is setting us up for a very interesting reaction in a mere 5 minutes when we get the inflation report. The consumer price index report is coming out, like I said, in about 5 minutes, where this one, they're all important, but this one's uniquely important because it's the last major inflation report we are getting before the FOMC meeting next week. So today, it's already gearing up to be a very exciting day. Trade talks, inflation reports, degeneracy in the market, out of the market, everything in between, civil unrest out west. We just have a lot going on. What is this? Trump says China will supply rare earths in a done deal. So we're getting a lot of news coming across right now. So we have a lot to get into, obviously. But let me do my best to kind of prep you guys up for what you should be prepared for at market open. Stock futures slip as U.S. and China agree to framework for future trade talks. So it's kind of like a done deal, but here, we'll be spending more time on the actual details of it, but I think first we should actually get ready for the inflation report. SPY slightly below the closing value, Qs slightly below the closing value. So the SPY and the Qs are both down about 0.1%. Bitcoin chilling at 109. It's been stuck there for about 2 days. And then Tesla's absolutely ripping. Gained about 5.7% yesterday, up an additional 2.4% today. We called this out in the update video. Shout out to all of those of you who have been watching those daily update videos. Good opportunity, and also a specialty shout out to everyone in the Discord who captured this, because this was a nice one. Obviously, we do have some individual news related to Tesla, really specific to Elon walking back everything he said about Trump. So we're going to be getting into that. So we have US-China drama, we have inflation drama, and then we have world's most powerful man and world's most wealthy man drama as well. So we have three different versions of drama to get into today, and it's all going to start with inflation. That's coming out now in about 4 minutes. Market most likely going to have a pretty decent sized reaction. My gut, which I don't think we should trade off of this at all, my gut is telling me to the upside, just because that's what the stats suggest. If you look at the past 10, 15, 20 CPI reports, it does favor the bulls. Now, is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. But seeing at recent trends of inflation, I think there's a better chance than not that this inflation report comes in cool. But once again, that's a gut feeling. I'll tell you better at 8:31. So we're going to see how this all plays out. Obviously, if you choose to trade this, best of luck to you. I have to admit, these are very good opportunities to pass the Apex test. Remember, right now, Apex is running an 80% off deal. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Use that code GOONIE, GOONIE. Use that code GOONIE to get the 80% off. Like I said, many of you have seen the videos on the other channel, but extremely easy to pass these tests. If you are having a tough time passing Apex, the eval, you're just not doing it right. PA, the performance account, the funded account, is a very, very different thing, because the way to pass the Apex eval, you're not allowed to do with a performance. You can't trade in the same way. But if you're having an issue by any means, just watch that video. It's pinned. You can track it down. It's not that hard to like locate it or anything like that. It just involves basically half long, half short, and you are more than welcome to do that with evals. Once again, I cannot be more clear about this. If they catch you doing it with funded accounts, they're not going to pay you out. But anyway, that code GOONIE going to get you 80% off. And I like to do the 50-50 test when we're coming into a very volatile event like we are about to do. Let me bring up the SPY over here so we can see what's going on. In fact, let's go to the 15-second. All right, this is coming out in 2 minutes, which means it's a perfect opportunity for you guys to cast your vote. Do you think this is going to pop and be bullish, or do you think it's going to drop and be bearish? What do you think this initial reaction is going to be? I'm talking from 8:30 to 8:31. What do you think the first minute reaction is going to be? Hopefully we have a bit of a barn burner type of a day, as our boy Rick Santilli should be live, and hopefully he's popping off all excited, getting us all jacked up for the day. But we are currently trading at just above 602 on SPY, and I'm curious, how good are you guys at guessing? How good are you guys guessing? What's your gut telling you right now? Are the bulls going to remain in control? Are we going to be talking about 6,100 today on SPX? Or are the bears going to finally get their chance to breathe? Going to be green, bearish, pop, drop, drop, poppy, whoppy, pop, bear. All right, well, we're going to find out. Things are heating up. We are 60 seconds out. So if you are doing the 50-50 chance on Apex, my recommendation is you place the trade 5-10 seconds right before the data drops, so you avoid some of the slippage. And for those of you just playing one of the sides, well, obviously, best of luck to you. I really do hope that you crush it. So here we have this up, and then the other thing we need is our boy Rick whenever he pops off here. All right, let me get the audio going. The audio is on. We are seconds away. In fact, we are 30 seconds away. So if there's anything special you need to do, you better be doing it quickly and even faster than when you hear my voice, because there's a slight delay between when I talk and you guys get to hear it. But here we are. All right, audio is on. We're at 6:02. My gut instinct is in about 15 seconds, we're going to see the bulls really take control. I would love to take out these pre-market highs, but let's see what... All right. We are running it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Improved a little bit, but we're red across the board.
Green.
The treasuries, the yield curve, most of the numbers that we follow are at some key levels. So you see the 30-year.
That's what we want to see. To all those of you in chat who were betting on a drop, I guess you're fucking wrong.
Happens from this. Rick Santelli.
I guess you are wrong.
Leisman is around. So
look at that. We did take out that high, and we are popping. Math wins again, folks. Here's our boy, Rick.
The headline number expected up 0.2 comes in on the light side, up 0.1%.
That's what we
follows,
want
at
to
least
see.
For now, unrevised, up 0.2. Up 0.1 will be the lightest since it was minus 0.1 in March of this year. If you strip out the all-important food and energy, it remains up 0.1%. That's 0.2 lighter than we were expecting. 0.1 lighter.
That's what we want to hear.
Up 0.1 equals
coming in
where we
cool.
were in
Everything
March of this year.
I'm thinking we might see 6090 today in SPX.
Now let's take the year
Mystic Matt's predictions 6090.
Headline up 2.4, and it arrives exactly up 2.4. That is 0.1 hotter than our last look at 2.3. It equals the 2.4 in March. 2.8 was February. That's the higher number we're comping to. Finally, if we go year over year, core ex food and energy,
dapper as hell.
2.8, 1/10 lighter than we were
Is there anything this guy
expecting.
can't do?
Equals where we were last month. 2.8 actually now is third consecutive month in a row. If you want a smaller number than that, you're going all the way back to March of 21 when it was up 1.6. Now,
Tesla popping, Bitcoin popping.
These indices go back quite a ways. If you look at CPI headline index, it goes back to
IWM
1913,
ripping necks out, cashing checks,
might not mean
breaking
to
necks.
viewers intrinsically, but it is
small
the
cap,
highest level
Mr.
on this
Russell.
index
Nice to
ever,
meet you.
going
My
back
name's
to
Mateo.
1913.
Let me
That
buy you a
means
drink there,
something.
brother.
And if we
Holy
strip out the
fuck.
all-important food and energy,
We're making
it
money
comes in
today.
at 326.854.
We're making money today, team.
Once again, this
Money,
number started
money,
out in
money, money,
1957
money,
on the
money,
core.
money.
It's never been higher. We see that the pre-opening equities, well, they have improved rather markedly. We now see green, and interest rates have
Everything's
dropped
fucking
dramatically.
popping, dude.
We're hovering
It's-
just
if
a
you were
whisper
bearish
under
today,
4.5% in the 10-year. We're
you
now at
just got fucking
4.44%. So definitely cooler than expected monthly numbers once again are going to create that wonderful weekend armchair quarterback scenario of trying to look at the outlying months over the next 3 and 6 months and trying to discover what they may be using the current monthly estimates. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, and inflation certainly looks like it is cooling a bit, but as the year-over-year numbers do tell us, Joe and the gang, we're still a little bit on the high side with a 2%
603
target.
to 605.
I'm interested to see if anybody at CNBC today talks about the
trading
notion
at
that the Bureau of Labor
6060 on
Statistics
SPX,
isn't doing
running
an
into this
adequate job of
positive
controlling
gamma
for
node at
CPI
6075,
due to
giant
freezing
negative
of
gamma node
hiring
at
or maybe
6090
even
now.
cutbacks due to the current administration. My one question would be, what was their enrollment and what was their rank and staff prior to COVID?
Wow.
Let's see what the comparison is. Joe, back to
and why would
All right, time for them to
people
fight.
wouldn't necessarily give you
Fight,
cooler
fight,
numbers.
fight, fight,
It could
fight.
just be a higher margin for error. So, you know, I'll tell you, Rick, the people that we've been having on, even though they think next month will be even more telling about tariffs, but a lot of them were looking for something. We just had Michelle Girard on. She's been looking at something worse every month. Once again,
Joe,
it didn't happen.
Are you hinting that those 9 Democratic senators trying to have this looked into at the Bureau of Labor Statistics have political motivations?
Rick,
are you even hinting that?
Oh, here we go.
No, but Rick, 3%. People said we'll go back to 3, and it didn't. It stayed at 2.8, right? So this is definitely.
Listen, I'm very surprised.
Here we go.
It has.
Here we go.
But it doesn't mean next month, you know, things can change quickly. Steve Leisman, I don't know whether you thought we're going to get your reaction. I don't know whether you thought this would be the month
Make it political.
where we started seeing at least some effect, or do we got to wait another month?
Dude, market's still
does it
holding
never
too.
come? That's what I'm
Hell
looking
yeah.
for.
Well, I want to make a broader point here, Joe, which is this. I still think there is tariff impact to come. You can see a little bit of tariff impact in places like appliances up 0.8% 2 months in a row. Something important to me, music equipment up 0.4, photo equipment up 1.6. But that's not the broader point I want to make. I want to make this point, which is that the concern at the Federal Reserve was not just that tariff-related prices would go up. It's that it would spread more broadly to other tariff prices, and that the issue of inflation expectations, which you talked about very eloquently this morning with Richard Clarida, would be an issue for the Federal Reserve. Not only did we get a decline in inflation expectations earlier this week from the important New York Fed report, but even if I zero in on just the tariff-related increases, I look elsewhere and I do not see broader impacts on inflation from the tariffs. So yes, I expect tariffs prices to come. You cannot collect year-to-date $70 billion in tariff revenue and not have prices go up. That is going to happen. The broader concern at the Federal Reserve is that it spreads to other
Bitcoin
areas.
just below
We
110.
do not see that.
Small
I think that's
cap.
an important
Holy
development
shit.
that could help the Fed.
Folks,
the time is
I'm going to be
right and they're confident
printing
to
today.
cut interest rates. I will just tell you,
Printing today.
Gas down 2.6%.
Look at
real earnings, importantly, up 0.3%.
I'm the guy who
New
swung
vehicles fell,
$25,000, technically $33,000 in IWM calls overnight. This is not updated yet. This is how much I was up at market close. I was up 33%, 8.4 thousand, and that's when IWM was trading at 214. We're now trading at 217 and change.
Product of all, of course, Joe.
This is going to be a $30,000 position when market opens.
Exactly.
That's going to be crazy.
Big turnaround, Mike, immediately.
Crazy at market open.
I did say, Mike, that the yield curve was cooperating.
Best to ever do it.
Exactly where it was.
Best to ever do it.
Because they were all right at those, 5%, 4%. They were right at the numbers where we could tell and saw an immediate impact on yields, as Rick pointed out.
We did, and they've stayed in the sort of safe zone, I would say. They're not, crossing any trip wires that would give the equity market too much concern, at least right now. And, of course, equity index futures did also pop. I think there's no way to look at these numbers and say they're not welcome news. I mean, a downside surprise to core goods is where people were looking for potentially tariff effects, and maybe except for isolated areas that Steve mentioned, you're not quite getting that. So I think it's all net benefit. Maybe the market is not going to race to extrapolate this benign situation in a big way now that we're only 2% from the all-time highs. JP Morgan's equity trading desk this morning said if we come in below like 0.25 on core, we're going up 2%, 2.5% of the S&P today. Obviously, the market maybe will get there, but the market's not racing to that, probably because, one, again, you want to just sort of reserve the idea that this is a snapshot from the recent past, but also because we've moved a lot. And also, there's rotations going on in this market that might not act to the benefit of September of S&P 500 directly. Russell 2000's been an outperformer recently. There's been this momentum stock reversal, and so that's something that the equity market might have to deal with. If you get better economic data, ironically, the stuff that's been really carrying the indexes, like it happened in February and March, might take a back seat. So that's maybe we'll see if that develops over the course of the day.
Do you have any? You got any Tesla calls out there? You fucking know it, dude. They don't call me the best trader on this side of the Mississippi for no reason. Tesla 340. Once again, market close green 12%, but this is going to open up around 10K, 15K.
Well, maybe next time.
Do I have Tesla calls? Come on, big girl. Come on, big girl. You guys know I got it. You guys know I got it.
On tariffs has to show up somewhere.
Do I have Tesla calls? What do you do? I have? Come on.
How many trillions?
Come on there,
I'm not
brother.
saying 80 billion isn't a lot to collect.
Dude.
But
IWM, holy shit.
Huge, big difference at some month in the future. Joe, I'm in your camp. I just don't see it. I think by time many find that month, the equity markets are going to be so far beyond anything that they could have gotten in on in an earlier
Do I have Tesla calls?
If there is some
Does the
type
Pope
of
shit in the woods?
future,
Come on.
It's going to happen at such an elevated price for equities that even should they come down a bit.
Matt is trading like Pelosi. Oh, yeah. I subscribe to her Discord. I just copy her trades.
Again.
Rick, that's roughly, Rick, that's roughly 3 months. So you do want to try to annualize
Palantir's going for a new all-time high.
Some of the estimates that you have from
Meta's popping. Apple's not doing anything. ASML's holding the breakout. Tesla's ripping. What are the next levels on Tesla?
It's going to come from somewhere. So to the extent you do not see it in prices, it could well be in margins, and that's something for investors to consider when they think, are the sellers, are the retailers eating some of this, the wholesalers? That's a question you want to be asking and try to look into these companies.
I'm going to send you a really strong microscope for the month ahead, Steve.
340 is where the gamma goes from positive to negative. 340,
Steve,
and then it's high vol points all the way up at 375. 340, 350, 375. Those are the targets in order. 340, 350, 375 in that order. Do I have Tesla? Were you born yesterday, brother? Do I have Tesla? All right. Well, the bulls are once again winning. Hashtag winning. SPY ripping, Q's ripping, Russell ripping, and Bitcoin up. I wouldn't say Bitcoin right now is ripping, but it is up. How's the dollar looking? Dollar is down and yields are down. So bonds up, yields down, dollar down, Bitcoin up, equities very much up. How is precious metals? How's gold? Gold's also up. So bulls are in control, folks. Bulls are in control. Wow. All right. To all the bears in the audience, I saw all those comments when I asked you. There we were, rewinding back to 8:28 this morning, 8:29, a mere minute or two before the inflation report came out. How are those bears doing? I saw those comments. I saw all the people betting on a drop. How you doing? We got it, folks. We got to check in on the community's weakest. Our community is only as strong as our weakest link, and there was a good chunk, I would say 30 to 40% of the votes that came in were voting on the bearish side. So we got to check in. We're not going to get through this individually. This is community-based degeneracy. How are you guys doing? Kill me? Oh, dude. Well, hey, just think of it this way. It could always get worse, you know? You might be sitting there thinking to yourself, this is bad. And at least we're at rock bottom. And the cool thing about rock bottom in trading is it's rarely actually the rock bottom. It could always get worse. And that's the fun thing. So if you're sitting there thinking, all right, this is bad, but at least I don't have to endure more financial, emotional, spiritual pain, trust me, when it comes to these markets, you can very much join. How can I join your Discord? You are so smart, dude. Okay, you're going to want to go to your local 7-Eleven on the northeast corner. There's going to be a guy named Hank. You know it's Hank because he's always in a yellow poncho. Most likely, he has a quesarita in his hand. Talk to Hank. But the tricky thing about talking to Hank when you're trying to get into said Discord is he actually only speaks Latin. And a lot of people find this confusing because it is a dead language, but unfortunately, it's the only thing Hank's mother taught him when he was growing up. So you're going to want to talk to Hank. You're going to want to talk to him in Latin. He's going to give you a passcode. You're going to take that passcode. Then you're going to go to your local cipher store. You're going to want to apply the Latin-based passcode in the cipher store. That's going to generate a URL. When you find that URL, you're then going to want to put that into your computer, but you're going to want to make sure you're in almost more of a skiff type setup. You're not going to want this connected to the rest of the world. You're going to want an airtight system. There, you're going to find it. And then solving a couple more puzzles. Those are more visual based, similar to IQ tests, where you have to get like the right blocks together. That's going to be your final challenge to get into the Discord. So good luck. Anyway, market is crushing. Where were we at? I got distracted talking about Hank. All right. Bitcoin is holding 109. Tesla's at 335. So we have to watch 340, 350, 375. I should probably put alerts at all those levels. Alerts. Alert 340. At alert 350. These are the major open interest gamma levels we care about. And 375. All right. I just want to know if those go off. 340, 350, 375. All right. Russell's giving a little bit back. Almost touched 218. SPY got above 606. The Q's got above 537. Let's see if the bulls can keep the trains on the track this morning. Obviously, the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour all bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour is all bullish across the board. If you're tuning in right now and you're wondering, what in tarnation is going on? Well, we just got the inflation report and it came in less than expected. U.S. inflation rises 0.1% in May from prior month, less than expected, as in cool, as in lower than expected, as in the bulls are retaining control. Coming back to the daily chart, I mean, as of right now, we're expected to open around 6060, which on the daily chart is not. The all-time high is 6,147. That's not a recent high. That is the all-time high, as in we are not far away from a brand new high. We are within 100 points, and specifically right now, we are only down 1.4%. We are 1.4% away from an all-time high, which is kind of funny because not long ago, people were saying that this right here, like the market was done and capitalism was over and Trump was going to ruin the entire stock market. Folks, that was the beginning of April. That was 2 months ago. 8 to 10 weeks ago, people swore on their life, made horrific financial decisions that the president is basically just going to ruin the stock market. And what's crazy about it is you see this with every administration. You see examples with Trump, you see it with Biden, you see it with Trump, you see it with Obama, you see it with Bush's, you see it with Reagan, you see it with Clinton's, is everyone gets caught up in their own political dogma, and when they specifically don't like the person, whenever there's a drop, they act as if, nope, it's done, stock market's done. Do you know what the major stats tell us? They tell us, put your political bias aside and invest in the market for the long run. That's what they tell us. It does not matter. Time and time again, one of the most brutal lessons we learn in the markets, in degenerate trading, is that in the long term, the bulls win. Yes, there are pockets where it pays to be a bear. Clearly, I do not disagree with that. But talking about your long-term investment account, the major thing we learn is the bulls win. It does not matter who's in control. We learn this lesson time and time again. There are people who hate Trump who were borderline applauding this sell-off, which is really sadistic because of the amount of government programs involved in the market. And as the market goes down, that literally means there's kids not getting food and other very horrific things. But yet they were applauding it because of how much they don't like Trump. The same thing happened with Biden. The same thing happened with Trump. The same thing happens with every single president. You have the people who don't like that particular political party, and they're almost gleeful when the market goes down because it's instilling in them that, like, yeah, this guy sucks. Like, obviously, the market's going to go down. And the lesson we learn is, nope, you in the long term should just always be bullish. That's the major lesson. If you've learned anything looking at the stock market in the past, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years, it's buy the dips and come back in 20 to 30 years. That's what you do. That's what you do. Of course, active trading is a bit of a different game, and that's much more of a math-based game of risk, reward, positive expectancy. Trading and investing, they sound similar, they look similar, they're played on very similar fields, but they're actually wildly different. So right here, my little spiel on buy major dips. It's applicable to any president in any regime for long-term investing, but obviously I know some of you in here right now are here for trading, and for trading, well, not only are the long-term investors who are bullish getting it right, but obviously the short-term bulls, the bullish traders, well, they're also crushing it because the SPY, like I said, 1.4% from the all-time high. If we bring up the NASDAQ 100, we are actually almost at a new all-time high. What percentage are we at right now? We closed out at 1.26, and we are scheduled to open. Wow. We actually might be seeing a new all-time high in tech today. That's insane. I didn't realize we were this close. 22,222 is the all-time high in the NASDAQ 100. That is nuts. Obviously, I will set an alert there. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I don't really know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm just telling you, we are gapping up how much? We're gapping up 0.3% on NDX, which is putting us even closer. And then obviously the small cap sector also having a nice technical breakout, a bit farther away from the all-time high. Remember, a lot of this recovery has been led by the Mag 7, as in clearly small cap has been a laggard, so there's more room to go. But we are at least getting a nice technical breakout at 216. My next target is 220 if we're looking there. Bitcoin's looking good. Once again, not far from the all-time high, trading at 109.5. All-time high is 112. MSTR getting a technical breakout. Tesla getting a technical breakout, but more so, I would say, defined as just a recovery after all that craziness. We'll be getting into why. ASML holding its breakout. Apple not doing anything. Meta holding 700. Palantir going to be battling for a new all-time high today. NVIDIA breaking out once again, not far from the all-time high, within $10. Avago seemingly attempting to recover this morning. I would love to see it above 248. And then Microsoft, not far from its all-time high, which it actually has made a new all-time high this week. So across the board, you get the skinny on the situation. The bulls have been right. So the reason why things are so good right now this morning is twofold. Yes, the major news that came out at 8:30 is the fact that inflation came in lower than expected, cooler than expected. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to deal with. We also got positive news related to the trade war between the U.S. and China. So this was announced at 8:04. So if you're looking at the market at 8, you're going to notice it went a little bit haywire right where my cursor is. And it's because of this deal right here. This is Trump on his own Truth Social account. Our deal with China is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and me. Full magnets and any necessary rare earths will be supplied upfront by China. Likewise, we will provide to China what was agreed to, including Chinese students using our colleges and universities, which has always been good with me. We are getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is getting 10%. Relationship is excellent. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So more specifically with the rare earths, which seems to be kind of one of the discussed, really maybe a contentious part of the deals. Trump says China will supply rare earths in done deal. So this is what people are focusing on right now. And obviously it's not necessarily helping us the most, because if you look at the reaction at 805, it was bullish, and then we quickly came back to basically break even, because it's really not much different than what we already had. But then when you put that together with the cooler than expected inflation report, the market is very, very happy. China-U.S. officials reach agreement for allowing rare earth and tech trade. Now it's up to Trump and Xi. The U.S. and China have reached a consensus on trade, representatives from both sides said after the high-level talks in London. The negotiators will now seek approval on the framework from the U.S. and Chinese presidents before implementing it. The talks follow a breakthrough trade agreement reached in mid-May that paused new tariffs for 90 days. I do want to take a step back and remind you that all other countries, their deadline is early July. I want to say July 9th is kind of the pause that's currently implemented. And just yesterday, we heard that India is really trying to push it to get some sort of framework done before this July 9th deadline. And we see some positive news, a little bit of positive news with Japan. And I think the next major one that people are really waiting on, traders like you and me, are what's going on with the US and the European Union, the Euro trade bloc. That's what right now we're kind of waiting on. So there's good news. I would classify it as bullish news, but obviously let's wait for market open, see how things really settle out. But between now and next week, obviously we have this inflation report. We're going to have a bond auction today. I'll be covering that in a second. Tomorrow we have another inflation report, the PPI, the producer price index. Important, but not as important as the CPI report. But anyway, another bond auction tomorrow. And then that's going to be the major macroeconomic data drops for this week, leading us to next week, where it's a shortened week. The market is closed on Thursday in observation of Juneteenth. Please don't forget that, especially if you have options. You might have one less day than you actually anticipated. But anyway, the big thing of next week is on Wednesday, we have the FOMC decision. As of right now, let's do this update to see what in the world is going on. Fed rates. Let's see what's going on. As of now, we're not going to be getting an interest rate cut. We're currently at 4.25%. There's a 99.9% chance that we stay at 4.25. So I would literally, with 99.9% confidence, we are not getting a rate cut in June, and we're most likely not getting one in July. There's an 83% chance that we are staying at 4.25, and the odds don't really shift until we get to September. That is the first time that there's a better than 50% chance that we're actually going to be getting some sort of rate cut. So the TLDR here is I would not be holding my breath on it. Once again, September is the first time we're really seeing the markets betting on some sort of change. So just want to, I guess, in a certain sense, set expectations. And the fact that we are waiting till September is why I have my own little bullish trade thesis between now and next week that there's going to be an effort from not only in the U.S., but other countries to get more deals agreed upon. So maybe we'll be hearing more from Trump today. Maybe we'll be hearing from Lutnick today. We know Bessent is going to be testifying, so maybe he's going to be asked about it. Also, there are some rumors, I should just throw this out there, that Bessent might be the next pal. He might be the next guy with his hand on top of the money printer. He might be the next chairman of the Fed. So maybe that was reported. The White House said it's not true, but generally where there's smoke, there's fire. So just wanted to throw that out. But anyway, I am expecting more trade information this week, next week, especially kind of as like an opposite to what Powell has to say at the FOMC meeting. U.S.-China officials agree on plan that awaits Xi and a Trump sign-off. Here's what Bloomberg has to say on the matter.
What do we know about the details, if any, on the back of these discussions?
Well, Tom, they were thrashed out over many, many hours yesterday. The talks went all through the day and into the night as well. The U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent having to leave early because he had to get back to Washington to testify in Congress. But they got back round the table. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, and the U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer emerging finally, as you heard there, to announce that they had reached a plan, a preliminary plan that, as you say, now needs to be taken back to the country's respective leaders, President Xi and President Trump. So what's in that plan? Well, as you heard there, essentially China is going to send more rare earths to the US, and in exchange the US is going to roll back some of the export controls that it had introduced in retaliation since the Geneva Agreement. And they're presenting this as a framework for implementing that Geneva Agreement. It's not a framework that we can see, but the idea is to try and rebuild trust. That has been the whole point of these talks in London, that trust having been eroded since Geneva. But the question is, what if this relationship breaks down again? And crucially, they haven't got more meetings in the diary yet, according to Greer. So it very much looks like we're not out of the woods yet, Tom.
In the diary?
Can we claim a victor in these conversations? Which side came out better than the other, or was it pretty equally matched?
Well, the markets, at least, seem to think that maybe it's China that is the victor here. You talked through what's happening in the markets. The immediate reaction was the yuan inching higher and US equity futures pointing lower. But I think if we look back through these meetings in London and indeed through the past few weeks since the Geneva Agreement, a crucial conclusion is just how important export controls are in modern trade warfare. Yes, tariffs are Donald Trump's favourite word, and indeed the court ruling in the US is that he can proceed on that front. But Beijing has well demonstrated how an economy can use export controls to gain leverage over its rivals. Now, the US is seeking all sorts of trade deals with other countries at the moment: India, Japan, South Korea, and a range of others. But President Xi Jinping's also been on the phone. He was speaking to the newly elected president of South Korea as well. So this is not over yet in terms of the US-China relationship. Now we look for a grand deal to come. But as we know from phase one in the Trump administration's first term, these things can take a very long time to hash out. That was 18 months in the making. So we're in it for the long haul now, Tom.
We're in it for the long haul now, Tom. One of the final things she talked about was actually referring to this right here. Appeals court keeps Trump's sweeping tariffs in place for now. Court will hear fast-track oral arguments this summer. So remember about 2 weeks ago, that was kind of the news of ruled illegal. Actually, that happened when I was in Vegas. And then all of a sudden they got it. Whatever. They're appealing it. And while they're appealing it, they're still in effect. So I kind of want to remind everyone of where we are in the larger picture of every other country. Basically, early July is when Trump said, hey, this is like the little reprieve you're getting. And then at one point, the market went haywire on the fact that they were ruled illegal. Then the administration got a judge to say, okay, well, I'll hear your arguments. And in the meantime, they're still in place. So that in itself right here, they're still there. but things are going to be changing quite a bit between now and about a month out in early July. So please keep that in mind. All right, to recap where we are at today, the market is sky high because we got a lower than expected inflation report. They were expecting the month over month to come in at 0.2, came in at 0.1. They're expecting the year over year to come in at 2.5, but it came in at 2.4. I know these are painted red, but that's actually bullish. We have high inflation, so inflation coming down is a very good thing. We are not out of the woods yet today, though. It's not a slam dunk done deal because at 1 p.m., just after lunch, we're going to be getting the result of the 10-year note auction. And then just very quickly for tomorrow, don't forget, we're getting the initial jobless claims, PPI, and the 30-year bond auction. But for those of you who are day trading, scalp trading, whatever, even swing trading, pay attention to the 10-year note auction today. And on that, we actually have some news related to individual equities. GameStop dropped after their earnings, even though they beat their EPS. So that's interesting. And then today, after the market closes, we're going to be hearing from Oracle. So if you are a tech trader, if you're paying attention to the semiconductor industry, you might want to listen to Oracle. Even though it's not reporting, we do have some interesting additional news. NVIDIA CEO says quantum computing is reaching an inflection point. I'm not the biggest fan right now of trading these quantum computing stocks just because they're a little bit small for my liking, but as it continues to grow, I have to admit it is becoming a little bit more interesting. So for all those of you paying attention to quantum computing, at least according to NVIDIA, we have clear skies ahead. But do you know what else has clear skies ahead? Freaking Tesla. Elon Musk says he regrets some social media posts that he made about Trump. So this was the hot news of this morning before all the other hot news right here around 3:04 in the morning. I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far. And then we got some other news as well on the Trump side of things. President Trump on whether he could reconcile with Elon Musk. I guess I could. We're back. We are back. We are back. The bromance is back. There was a little bit of a tiff there. There was a little bit of miscommunication, but they're back to going steady. They're back to holding hands. They're back to, I guess, their public displays of affection. We are back, and that is beyond the, I guess, trade deal news, beyond the inflation news. That is why Tesla is having such a good day yesterday, such a good day right now in pre-market trading. I mean, literally at the start of yesterday, we were at 310. We are now trading at 335. So obviously, the market really liking the fact that Elon is walking back his commentary. And as I covered in the update video yesterday, the timing is pretty freaking good because they're about to be dropping their robo-taxi. Elon Musk says Tesla robo-taxi rides in Austin tentatively set to begin on June 22nd. Yesterday, the anticipation was actually for tomorrow, June 12th. Obviously, they are kicking it by about 10 days, but I think the market has legit good reason to be excited about this because it is the first step in really this thing was promised for years and years and years. And I think obviously it's an optimistic look, but if Tesla as a company can execute upon this robo-taxi network, it will massively dwarf their automaking segment. So right now, depending on what Elon is or isn't saying, Tesla is worth about a $1 trillion valuation. If you look at its market cap, it like hovers right around there. Technically right now it is above. But the robo-taxi network, when scaled up, not only just in major cities, but across the US, and eventually when it goes on like the global scale, that in itself could be multiple trillions of dollars. So there is good reason to be excited. Obviously in the short term, let's see how this goes on June 22nd, even if it happens. But in the longer term, talking about a Tesla as an investment, if they could pull it off, and it's a giant if, I have no crystal ball. I can't tell you if it is or isn't going to happen, but I'm going to say if it does happen, that is going to mean Tesla in the long run, just from the robo-taxi part, no less their AI part, is going to be worth multiple trillion dollars. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said in a post on X on Tuesday that Tesla robo-taxi rides in Austin, Texas are tentatively set to begin on June 22nd. Musk said that the first driverless Tesla will take a trip from Austin factory to a customer's house on June 28th, the tech billionaire's birthday. Musk previously said that Tesla would launch a limited robo-taxi pilot in Austin in June, but he hadn't set a specific date. So for those of you paying attention to Tesla in the short term, this is obviously what to pay attention to. Right now, the tentative date date is June 22nd. So please remember that. Now, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. It is 100% free, macros.locals.com. I give you a breakdown of the week. This comes to your email inbox every Sunday. A little cheat sheet for the earnings, a little cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events. And then I give you the seasonality for each individual day. And historically, over the past 27 years, the Bulls have only won this day 41% of the time, which means the Bears have won it 59% of the time, as in a slight edge to the Bears. Profit factor of 0.66 shows you that it historically has paid more to be a Bear on this day, but it's not the most overwhelming seasonal statistics we've ever seen. And the fact that we got good trade news this year, we got a good inflation report this year, and we have the world's most wealthy man basically kissing and making up with the world's most powerful man, tells me that maybe today seasonality isn't going to be the thing that wins out. Obviously, looking at the options market, which we've done in-depth like breakdowns in the update videos, we've chatted about it in the Discord, the options market is 100% dominated by the Bulls right now. It really, really is. In fact, we see some pretty sizable bets today on the 0 DTE basis coming in for 6090. More specifically, those are long calls. If this loads right here, 6090, there's almost 7,000 open interest contract, or net, I should say. That's actually the net situation. So there's a net of 6.8 thousand SPX calls, long calls to 6090. That is quite the bet. That is quite the freaking bet. So that's going to be my major watch of the day, to the point it's creating this negative gamma node right up here, 6090. Highly recommend you guys putting that on your watch list, or excuse me, an alert up there today, putting it on your chart. Speaking of chart, as I always do, I mark out the previous day's high, low, and close. Those happen to be important emotional levels, technical levels, psychological levels, and they commonly overlap with open interest levels. But then on top of that, I have this white box from a 0 DTE perspective. This is the transitional zone for delta and gamma, especially from the market maker's viewpoint. Above it is bullish, below it is bearish, within it is chop. And then the final thing is you're going to see all these horizontal yellow lines, which are just the major open interest levels. So not necessarily bullish or bearish. I'm just looking for the market's reaction at all those key levels. This morning, as of right now, we are gearing to open up at 6051. And to no one's surprise, that is a major level. So if we can find support here, great. I'm looking for the pop up to 6075. And then from there, I'd be looking for 6090. Now, if it does not hold, I'd be looking for support to be found somewhere between yesterday's high, 6042, and yesterday's close, 6039. Looking for support somewhere in there. If that doesn't hold, then I'd be looking for support at the top of the transition zone at 6030. So once again, these are my levels. This is what I'll be trading off of. If they work for you, great. Feel free to take a screenshot. If they're not quite for you, if you don't like them, then don't use them. But this is definitely what I use to personally make me money. So like I said, feel free to write these down. Feel free to screenshot them. Feel free to do whatever you want with them. But right now, things are looking pretty good. Obviously, this is the daily chart. You can see we are nicely holding this breakout that we got on Tuesday, June 3rd. So even though historically we are in the most bearish week of the entire year based on the last 5 years worth of data, this week that we're living in real time is the most bearish week over the past 5 years on average. And you can see that we are definitely bucking the trend today, because really, I mean, I don't think we're going to have a capability of closing above 6,100. Of course, it's theoretically possible. I just don't think that's like at all a likely pathway. I think there's a really like a real shot of hitting 6090, maybe tapping 6,100, but to close above it, I think that's a very, very tall order, especially on our first test. But think about how insane that is. If we get up to 6,100, we are pretty much battling it out at the all-time high. The all-time high is 6,147, folks. Look how rapidly this came back. Truly insane, and what a show to watch. Now, just before I hand it over to you guys for a little bit of a Q&A, just to give you a little snapshot, yes, we had a big pump. We're giving about half that distance back, but right now the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour all holding bullish. Same thing on the NASDAQ. So ES and the NASDAQ both looking very, very bullish. In pre-market trading, we are above the high from yesterday on the SPY, on the Qs, on the Russell, and Tesla is not giving an inch back. Yesterday, as low as 310, 311. Today, we are talking about 335. And then if you were here earlier, I gave the major levels of 340, 350, and 375. Those are all major levels from an options market perspective. 340, 350, and 375. So those are going to be my 3 upside targets. And obviously, I'm playing Tesla right now because I'm the best Tesla trader on this side of the Mississippi. So with all that being said, this is the perfect point for your questions. Shout out to Apex. They are today's stream partner. If you want to trade with someone else's money the way I do, right here, here's my 20. Oh, actually, you guys probably can't see this right now. Right here, here's my 20 Apex accounts. I have not traded on them yet today. Got very lucky yesterday. At one point, I had a realized loss of 1.3K in each of these accounts. And then I caught the reversal around 11:30 yesterday and was able to make a $500 profit. Check it out. It's on, I think I had proof of it somewhere on Twitter. I think I put it out on Twitter, or am I losing my mind? Okay, right here. Yeah, I caught this right here. Here's my entry right around 11:40, and then rode it all the way up here, and that's exactly how I got my money back. I just took this entire move, and if I held even longer, yeah, I mean, at one point, the market really started to pop into close, so I kind of got out. I didn't want to hold it through this drawdown, but then that pop at the end, I wish I took it, but obviously I didn't because I shut it down because I felt fortunate enough to make that money, and then here's the proof, 500 per account, and that's exactly where I am at this morning. So hopefully we have another good trading day set up here. I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it to go. But like I said, shout out to Apex. They are today's stream's partner. You could use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, to get 80% off your evals, which would make the eval test only like $33. So obviously trading with a small account is a very difficult thing. So one easy way to leverage some of your capital is to do sim to funded. I think it is that great in between going from paper trading account to your fully funded account. Sim to funded trading, I wish it were around when I started trading because I probably would have lost a lot less money as I was learning. Sir, I'm coming back for the best Tesla trader title, former Tesla trader. Well, I am more than willing to have the competition to anyone who thinks they can step in and compete in this arena. More than happy to have any of you compete, but let's see how it really plays out. It's tough when you come for the king. Mike Kimmel, member for 51 months. I'm old. Hey, you don't look a day over 25 in my books. Yeah, dumped at 11, climbed, dumped at 12. Was crazy. I caught both in the dumps and recovered from the climbs. Ended up breaking even. Hey, breaking even is better than losing money. Better than losing money. If only Apex can withdraw faster like Take Profit Trader. Yeah, I mean, but that's just a patience thing. I agree with you that I wish it were quicker. They're allegedly putting in a new system that will make it faster. Obviously, we're not seeing it in real time. But in reality, if you do the request, like, it's just a game of patience. Like, you just have to have the patience and the discipline to just not do anything. You just literally just wait, like don't trade, just wait for the account to get approved. I've had 320 Tesla calls since last Friday. Congrats, that's going to be a killer. Watch out, Hank in yellow poncho is here for you. Yorkshire, England here, and it's damn warm. 24 degrees is hot for here. 20, I think you're talking Celsius, which is like that made up temperature. Folks, I don't know why this has to be stated, but this is a Fahrenheit based channel. We don't use that malarkey of Celsius. It makes too much sense. It's too reasonable of like, oh, wow, it's freezing at 0. Oh, wow, it's boiling at 100. Like all that stuff, it's too easy. It is far, far, far too easy. So we like the extra complication of using Fahrenheit in here where it freezes at 32. When does things catch fire? What's it like 251 or 254 Fahrenheit, whatever the hell that is. Yeah, we base it here in freedom units. Let's not do stuff that makes too much sense. You know, you use Kelvin. It is actually my second favorite way to measure temperature. It does feel as if maybe we should use Kelvin. I could be convinced. All right, what else are we missing? Not much. I just wanted to know if there's any Trump on whether he could reconcile with Musk. I guess I could. Part of the reason why Tesla's up. We talked about the trade deal already. Yes, LA and now kind of San Francisco, the Marines are there. There's a lot of civil unrest. There's a lot of people who apparently have way too much time in their hands. What is this? You know, it's always a good time when you get to hear The View.
current support right now, though, is that 66% of the American public actually thinks it is crime enough to be undocumented. And therefore deported.
That it's criminal to be undocumented?
Yes, it is not. You know how the disagreement was in the beginning? We were told it was going to be violent criminals. And I think everyone at this table would agree. Yeah. Haul out violent criminals, fine. Yeah. But a very important distinction was 60% of the American public, 2/3 of independents, 90% of Republicans, and just a little under half of Democrats think the crime is in being undocumented.
Even if it's a civil offense.
Yes.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is a massive
a
amount of this country actually
by definition,
agrees with not how
it's
he's
breaking
doing
a law,
it, but with what
making
he's
it a
doing.
crime.
So I think the strategy here is he's leaning into a scene right now, creating a bigger thing because it is the one thing that he remains
let's
supportive.
Let's fix that right now because it is not illegal to be undocumented. It is not a crime to be undocumented.
But what they're saying is the problem is that they
no,
are
but I'm
undocumented.
saying we need to put that information out
But
there.
I don't
it is
think,
a civil infraction.
Yeah, and I don't think
criminal.
it's actually broadly a misunderstanding. I think that 60% of Americans believe it's a civil offense and that if you come here and you're undocumented, that you should be deported.
But he's actually lost some points on the way he's handling immigration, not the border.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of,
but
I think a lot of Americans voted for him on immigration, thinking he was going to deport gang members and criminals. And he is deporting our friends, our neighbors, mothers, fathers, people working hard to make America actually function. And this is not what I think a lot of people voted for.
A lot of people don't, but it does.
Sarah is right about this.
These polls are consistently across the board showing there's more support than you would realize if you stay in your own.
So it's not a felony, but you're still breaking the nation's laws. Feels like they're trying to play loosey-goosey with like a nuanced part of the definition in that, but I guess that's what The View does. They have to just take bullshit and spin it because that's, I guess that's just how The View keeps getting views, is almost like hate views. I don't think anyone really tunes into The View for some sort of phenomenal like take on current culture or politics or laws or cases. I think most of the views are hate views, and hate views are a very, very powerful thing. But I think people hate that they have any form of a platform when they're some of the dumbest people to ever walk this planet. They really are some of the dumbest people out there. It's crazy how stupid they are. But hey, to each their own. All right, waiting for the options market to open. We have about 22-ish minutes, 12 minutes. I have to do some basic math as I'm calling other people stupid. We've given about half the push back, but we are holding green right now in pre-market trading. The SPY's up 0.2%, the Qs are up 0.3%, small cap sector's up 0.6%, Tesla's up 2.8%, and we have Bitcoin chilling just below 110. So thus far, the bulls are still in control. All right, I think it's going to be a good day. I do want to remind you that at 1 p.m., just after lunch, we are going to be having the 10-year note auction. 10-year note auction. If it goes well, great. That means we're not really throwing a wrench into this situation. But if there is unfortunately not enough appetite for all those 10-year notes, it doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, it can be extremely problematic. So you might want to be paying attention at 1. The auction starts at 1. Generally, the results come out at 103, 104, 105. So watch the first 5 minutes there. Can you show how to find 0DT on public? What? You just seriously? It's the same way you would find anything. Trade SPY options right there today, the 12th, the 13th, the 16th, like today? I don't know. Is this a trick question? Am I understanding it? Can you show how to find zero? Or do you mean on like how to find good ones, or literally how to find a 0 DTE? I don't know. Like I'm assuming the question is like how to find good ones to trade, where you have whatever positive expected value, like as in good opportunity. I really hope you don't mean like how do you just find it. I'm assuming you mean how to find like something that is going to be profitable. and that is much more of refining your own trading system. But in reality, trading zero DTEs, as in buying calls and buying puts for a zero DTE, I've been doing this now for over a decade. I have not met one person who is net profitable trading zero DTs as a premium buyer. Premium selling is a completely different story, and from there you just start to do standard deviations, whatever, this, that, the other thing. But folks, can you make money in individual trades? Yeah, half the time the market's up, half the time the market's down. So on any given day, you have about a 50-50 shot at market open of picking whatever, the right direction, and you can make money in an individual trade. But I'm telling you this, over an entire decade of doing this, I have not met a single person in terms of a 1, 2, 3 year period who all they do is trade zero DTs, buying calls, buying puts, and they are net profitable. And I get it. There's gurus and furus out there promising you that if you follow them and learn their secret, just buy calls when they buy calls and buy puts when they buy puts, that they're net profitable. It's just not. It doesn't work. The math is against you, because not only are you betting on direction, which is a 50-50 shot, but you're betting on time as well, as in it has to go in your favor pretty much instantaneously. So I get it that there is this allure to it, because people on social media put it up and like, dude, look how much money I make. And they're applying that one little aspect of success and they're extrapolating it out, and they think they just do that all the time, but they don't. It's really just cherry picking. So you're going to be hard pressed to find someone who is net profitable. And once again, I'm not saying net profitable on a day or a week, a month. I'm saying net profitable over 1, 2, 3 years. Doesn't. You're not going to find someone who does it. Folks, I've been in this game for over a decade, and the only people who are trading zero DTEs in a net profitable manner time and time again are people selling premium. Way, way, way more. So if you're having a tough time being a profitable trader and you're a person who is buying zero DTEs, maybe just stop. Maybe punt it out. Maybe get yourself 1, 2, 3 weeks out. Maybe go to the next month. Maybe if you want to trade zero DTs, you go to selling premium instead of buying premium. Look into what's referred to as credit spreads. Fuck, it would even be better if you looked into debit spreads to at least minimize your impact. But buying zero DTE premium, like I said, I mean, I've interacted literally at this point with hundreds of thousands of different traders via social media. I've not found a single one who is net profitable in the long run buying zero DT calls, buying zero DT puts. Like, just the odds are greatly, greatly stacked against you. And then think about it this way. Imagine if you're in here right now and you're like, no, I know there's one guy. Okay, so what? Now your odds are 1 in a few 100,000? Like, it's all like, stack the odds in your favor. Just stack the odds in your favor. Yeah, Matt, but gambling, it's addictive. Yeah, it is. And I get that, like, maybe sometimes it's fun, but personally, I'm a little bit more addicted to actually making money than doing dumb shit that loses me money. I would say you have to almost recalibrate your addiction. I'm addicted to seeing my account go up and up and up. For example, here's my account. This is what I'm addicted to. I'm addicted to seeing my account go up and up and up. Do you know how I did all this? No zero DTs. These were all swing plays. Your life becomes far easier the longer your duration. So the risk reward paradigm changes. You're going to make money slower the longer your time, but you're going to have a higher hit rate. So how am I up 328% year to date? Folks, we're 6 months into the year. We're almost a full 6 months, 6.5 months into the year. I'm up 300K year to date. What's that? I'm net ahead about 50K a month trading. You don't have to do it. You don't have to rush this. I think there's almost like a social media pressure on traders to be making a ton of money every single day and doing lights out zero DT trades. And folks, I was there too. The same thing as, like, I remember at one point there's pressure for everyone to do crazy stuff in the penny stock trading, this, that, the other thing. And it's tough because there is that pressure. You see other people doing really well, allegedly. But remember, most of the things you're going to see on social media are lying. Ask those people for proof of their trades. But folks, like, just make your life easier. Make it easier. The math is severely against you with zero DTEs. These exchanges, these market makers, they love that people are trading zero DTEs because it makes them so much money. Does no one else in the world find it crazy that simultaneously with the explosion of zero DTEs, we're also seeing record-breaking profits for market makers? Has no one put that together? That as one type of trading is getting massively popular, we're seeing someone else making most of the profit. And if they're making money, that sure as fuck does not mean that the people actually trading them on the other side, as in buying those, are making it. That doesn't make sense. So like the numbers are there. Your own anecdotal proof is enough. Like you attempting to trade it and your account going down and down and down. And then when you multiply that by the thousands of people in here who are saying, yeah, no, like I kind of agree. That was my experience. That was my own personal, like I wish I could make it work. It just doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because in any given situation, the market is normally distributed, as in like 50-50. Like it could go up, it could go down. It's pretty much normally distributed. That in itself is not the best situation, obviously. Like you'd want higher odds, but it still might work if you have a good reward relative to a good risk. Okay, yeah, might work. The complication on zero DTEs is because of the time aspect. So if you're sitting there and you're like, no, I need that leverage, well, just go trade futures. Like if you really feel it in like your heart of hearts that you want to be a day trader, a scalp trader, and you're like, no, I do it for the leverage, go trade futures. Because at least with futures, you're now trading a linear product. You are no longer battling time. So if the market, for example, let's say you had calls yesterday and you had this pop, okay, at 1, and you're feeling great, but then you decide to hold it. This drop, which lasted about an hour, theta destroyed you. Delta decay destroyed you. Well, it didn't matter to you if you were trading futures whatsoever. There's actually a very good argument that depending on the strike you had, you could have gotten a bigger return getting out at 1 rather than the actual high of the day because of how much theta decay destroyed you. Well, if you were trading futures, no, actually the high value is the high value. It's a linear product. It's not associated with time. So if that's your main argument, you're like, no, man, I need leverage. I need it. Okay, I'm not against leverage. I'm a degenerate like you, but at least be a degenerate that like you have a shot of winning the game. So if you need the leverage and you want to be that zero DTE person who's day trading, just switch over to futures. You don't have to trade options. And what's better than that is if you trade futures, you don't even have to worry about pattern day trading anymore. So if your account is below 25K and you're based in the US and you're like, no, I want to trade zero DT, which is really silly to do below 25K. But hey, if you want to do it, and then all of a sudden you get caught up and you're starting to think, oh, wow, like what in the world? Like my account's going down and down and down, and then all of a sudden it's going down even worse because you can't get out of positions. Check out futures. There's minis, there's micros. You have a world of opportunity over there. I can't afford to trade futures. That's why I do zero DT in spreads, build the account up slowly with good risk. Then I'll start doing futures later. Dustin, what are you talking about? What in the world are you? It's that. Why do I have to go through and prove this to people like seemingly every week? You have enough money. You can trade the micro contracts for, hang on. Right. Where is it? Right here. 10%, $200. You could trade the S&P 500 micro for $200. Whereas MNQ, you could trade that for $347. You could trade the Dow for $150. You could trade, I mean, it's affordable. If you're trading an options account, you can trade a futures account. And really, I would say the cheapest option is doing it on a sim to funded thing. Like here, you could get going for a test of just $33. The upgrade fee is going to be around $100. So you're in the hole for $133. And then they give you a 50K account. So that's just not a reasonable, like, I don't know, answer. Your excuse is just not valid by the time you actually start to crunch the numbers. The point here is when it comes to account size, generally, whether you're talking about equities, options, or futures, you can find a solution that is financially reasonable. You can trade options in a cheap way by doing spreads, and obviously that could really, really lower your costs. On futures, you could do sim to funded. Well, fuck, even on options, you could do sim to funded. You have various things at your disposal. So it's more of trading the product that is best setting you up for success. I wouldn't let the price of whatever's going on being like really the hindering aspect of it. I wouldn't by any means. But anyway, the market's about to open in 30 seconds, so let's get really ready for the day. Thus far, the bulls are in control. Let's stick around and see if they stay in control. Right. We have the SPY, we have the Qs, we have the Russell, and we have old Tesla there. Tesla, nice gain yesterday, nice pre-market gain. IWM, unfortunately, giving about $2.50 back. Similar situation on the SPY and the Qs. It looks as if we are slated to open around 6050, which is right at a key level of support. I would love for support to be found at 6050, 6043. Maybe we're just going for that quick downside gap fill. If a foundation could be built here, then I'm looking for a pop up to 6075, followed by 6090. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Remember, you can't take it with you when you go. All right, let's see what this account is opening up to today. All right, up about 7K. Not as much as I thought it was going to be. I'm up for 10K on IWM, 5K on Tesla, 5K on BITX, break even on SPY and Qs, and slightly down on MSTR. So your boy's looking for a bit of a pump out of the gate. I would very much appreciate a large pump. We definitely have some profit taking out of the gate, kind of to be expected. We see this a lot. All right, here's the options flow thus far on the day. Let me just get it ready. Yeah, we're already seeing on the SPY at least. Mag 7 out of the gate, no profit taking, but on the SPY, clear profit taking. So as always, calm, cool, collected. Let's just wait for more to play out. Like I said, we are opening up right at a key level, 6050. We have support. We have a downside gap fill to 6043. Market might just be going for that. Ideally, a base off of that high from yesterday. Key technical level, key psychological level. The market on open imbalance. SPY is buying. The rest we're selling. Interesting. All right. Oh, this might be setting up for an interesting trade today. Okay. All right. I think I might. Can we base? All right, so we got the downside gap fill. We're hitting the close from yesterday. We have support in this zone. Obviously, we had an issue at 60.50. We also have support at 60.30. So let's see how this really plays out here. Are some buyers going to step in? And if they do, where should I be a buyer? That's a good question. All right, the 5-minute testing, 10-minute almost testing, 30-minute 4-hour bullish. 5-minute testing, 10-minute almost testing, 30-minute and 4-hour bullish. We don't need the daily chart right now. We also don't need this. All right, what is that level? All right, I need to place an order, a pending order, just in case there's a reversal. I do not want to miss it. All right. Hang on, I'm just getting some things, just in case things move a little bit faster than I want them to. All right, we'll cancel that. All right, I have my pending orders where I'm happy with them. But I might actually need to update. This is moving a little bit faster than anticipated, team. All right. Trying to not do anything too crazy out of the gate. I want to let things calm down. I do. Ooh, that is really. I'm attempting. I know it's a little bit early, but I am attempting to see if there's going to be a bounce off of the high and the close from yesterday. We're pretty much at the high and the close on both the SPY and the Qs. I'm wondering out loud, if this is where the buyers are going to step in. Is this where the buyers are going to step in? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. I would definitely need to be convinced of it because it is a bit early for me to be trading. I do admit. But patience, let's see how it shapes up. I don't need to be chasing anything out of the gate. I would love for bases to be found here soon. Quick downside gap fills, cleaning up the chart. I want to see if the buyers step in. I want to see if the sellers stop. Right now, the Mag 7, it did go flat, but obviously it got hit there. The SPY has been slowly but surely trending down. Slowly but surely trending down. Interesting. Interesting. Is this a day that it might be a bit more appropriate to trade micros? Is that what I should be doing? Should I be trading oddly enough, yesterday in my futures account, I made almost triple the money trading 5 micros instead of my other account where I was trading 1 mini. Kind of fascinating. I did way, way better with micros just because I was able to do this scale in, scale out type of a technique. And take better advantage of some of that movement. I mean, some of this is going to be, literally from just the risk itself. Like, we are getting quite a bit of a range that maybe it is a day to, instead of, for those of you who don't know, 10 micros is equal to 1 mini. So if you want to trade a half size mini, you'd basically just trade 5 micros. So if you're trading NQ, that's the mini contract. You could trade a micro NQ by MNQ. That's like NQ is the futures contract. MNQ, you'd go from mini to micro. And the ratio is 10 micros equals 1 mini. So like I said, if you want to do half the craziness, you would just trade 5 of those. You would trade 5. I've been telling you about dem micros. I've known about them, but at a certain point, people are just, myself included, you're just a degenerate, and you're like, well, you want to get some of the action. Some of the action. All right, how do I want to do this one out of the gate? How do I want to do this? All right, I put in my order. Actually, I put in 2 different orders. I'm a little nervous because I feel like I'm trying to catch a falling knife. But yesterday, catching a falling knife paid massive, massive dividends. Mag 7 starting to pick up. SPY hit a low, but trending up slightly here. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Will Lady Luck be on my side today? We have Bitcoin trading just below 110. IWM, green, slightly. SPY, break even. Q's up 0.1%. MSTR is in the red. That's a bummer. Tesla, we have up 2%. Palantir is up. We have some opportunity here. We have some opportunity. Basically, first 2 minutes selling, and ever since then, we are range bound, deciding if we want to puke or if we actually want to basically bounce out of this first foundation zone and get back up to 60-50. 60-50, 60-50. We will find out. Are we actually going to bounce out? We're trying to get out of this range right here that we've made since mid at 3. We're attempting to, but will there be enough follow through? Here's a look at the Mag 7 picking up almost a new delta high. Looking at the S&P 500, it sold off. We bottomed around 936, so there was 6 minutes of straight selling, and now it's attempting to put in a bit of a recovery. We are on top of VWAP. It's been finding support at VWAP, which happened to perfectly overlap with some of this technical support. But even here, we're not getting that follow through quite yet. So patience is the name of the game, as it is pretty much every day. Wait for that opportunity. I have some pending orders to catch it if I think, oh, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do it? Do I want to do it? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Oh, brother. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. If it pops enough, you're going to hear my system go long. I am attempting. What's today? Today is Wednesday. So I just need today, tomorrow, and Friday. I just have 3 more days to go where I'm just attempting to exclusively be disciplined. Either take the system trades or just don't do anything at all. I'm really, really attempting to make this my first quote unquote perfect week in a while. And I'm defining perfect as only taking the systematic trades and nothing else. No manual trades, no gut feel trades, no front running, no nothing. The only little leeway I'm attempting to give myself, is to I guess be a bit more aggressive with my risk management. So that's we've done 2 days. We have 3 days to go. We're in the middle of day 3. Just trying to keep the train on the tracks here and only take the systematic trades. I'm manually executing them, but I keep looking over here, not only to see what you guys are chatting about, but to also, I have this program that basically just flashes. It's like, all right, here's the buy signal. All right, here's the sell signal. And I'm attempting to not do anything too crazy beyond that. But we might be getting a little bit of a fake out breakout here about 9 minutes in. But maybe this fake out breakout will lead to a higher high and a higher low that we could actually play off of. We will find out. We will find out. All right. I don't like that Tesla hit at 940, so we have some orders hitting the market 10 minutes into the day right here. The Mag 7 recovered a bit. Delta just puked, most likely related to Tesla. Look at that. Tesla was holding steady starting at 939, 940. The Delta got hit there. Specifically, people bought puts and sold calls. So that's the movement on the Mag 7. And then with respect to the overall market, it's trying to hold steady. It really is. We actually might be putting in this higher low here. So if you want to front run it, if you're feeling bullish today, that's not the worst entry because you could just risk this recent bar's low. So like it's just a minimal risk setup. Now the odds of you getting hit, as in like kind of getting stopped out if you're using this as your risk, are high, but it's such minimal risk that you could survive those type of paper cuts for quite a while if you were betting the right size. On setups like this, on days like this, you really don't need to overbet because if you can catch the trend's going to be a big trend, but we just have to have that patience to wait for that opportunity to basically try to sniff out who's on what side of the trend, who's right, who's wrong type of a deal. Oh, just waiting. The Qs, I would have preferred seeing a higher low out of this. I'm not going to lie. I would very much prefer seeing a higher low and then we take out this 939 high. I would feel way better about going long with that type of a setup because that means we just have a beautiful foundation to play off of. And it's called out exactly where we thought support could be found between yesterday's high and closing value, this 5-point region. Basically, it's this breakout, and then you just have well-defined risk, the risk reward. I don't know where the next bar is going to go. All I could tell you is the reward of potentially 6075 versus your risk. Well, it's massively asymmetric. It's massively in your favor. But first, we want to just make sure that we're not chasing ghosts here. The Mag 7 is unfortunately still getting hit. SPY is holding steady. We just have to wait. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Tesla's still holding green, but not trending the way I wanted to. MSTR somehow putting in another red day. Just cannot catch a bid, even though we have Bitcoin sitting pretty steady here. But right now, market is massively indecisive. I have pending orders just in case something takes off. You're going to hear it pop off. But as of right now, I have no new position today. Of course, I've been swinging my positions that I had from yesterday that were looking way, way better at 840 than they are right now. But hey, there's a lot of time left in the day. Lot of time. Lot of time. Patience, patience, patience. Actually, let me text one of my quant buddies. I do have a question for him. I do have a question. All right. Let's see if we can get a response. I wanted them to crunch a couple numbers for me on some of this data stuff. All right. Some of the underlying metrics I have, it is, even though we sold off at open, it is still favoring the bulls. So that's giving me a little bit more optimism in my pending orders here. Let me check one more tool for you as we are doing our best to be patient and only executing high quality trades, high quality decisions. None of this is even loaded yet today. Support 6,000, resistance 6,090. Good chance we stay within that 90-point region today. I think that's reasonable. All right, where would that break? We're just waiting. Range bound. We had 2 minutes of selling, and ever since then, from 9:32 to now, we've done a bunch of fucking nothing, team. A bunch of nothing. This is the purgatory we are set in. Just wait. Don't rush it. Market's going to be here all day, I promise. It's going to be here all day. Even the Russells, everything is range bound. Just wait. Just wait. We're almost at the 15-minute Orbo. The Orbo opening range breakout or breakdown. The 15 minutes fine. I find the 30-minute and the first hour, the initial balance, to be a bit more statistically compelling. But some people still do trade the 15-minute. Like I'm sure we just broke the 15-minute Orbo on the NASDAQ. I bet there are traders out there who are shorting this right now because, once again, from 9:30 to 9:45, that's, you look at the first 15-minute high and low, and then people like to trade it based on the way that it breaks. Right here in real time, the NASDAQ just broke below it. I wouldn't chase that. I think statistically you're playing with fire on a game like that just because we did get legit positive news today. So if anything, I'd just be patient. And then also what's more interesting is when you're looking at the SPY, when you're looking at the Qs, there's a 50% chance that based on the past 3 to 5 years worth of data, we have a 50-50 shot of on any given day touching the other side of the Orbo. So when it breaks down there and you're telling me that there's still a 50-50 shot of going to the other side of the Orbo, well, I'm not the biggest fan of that. It seems like today that actually would have been a pretty decent short, which is why I'm very happy I did not chase this long. Are we coming into any major? So, all right, next level of support is a little bit deeper, about 3 points deeper, 6030. Once again, I've not taken any trades. I'm attempting to be. None of my bots have fired. My signals have not gone off. Just waiting. Probably gap fill. Ben, we got the gap fill in literally minute 2 of the day. You are very far behind. The gap fill has already been filled. So if you were playing that, you should already be out. You should already have your money, dude. You should already have your money. Let's see if he comes back up into this chop range. Is it going to come? Oh, the Mag 7 still puking. Look at that. What's weird is it's not puts, it's call selling. So basically people are seemingly pissed off that we didn't keep going up. So it's the delta is dropping from lack of positive delta. It's not the addition of negative delta. The puts are actually very flat. What we are seeing is from 9:39 till now, it's just calls going down. Calls going down, which means I need to update this. I need to update my order. All right, updated. All right, like I said, obviously I care if I make or don't make money, but what I'm attempting to rewire my brain to is I only care if I took exactly the system trade. That's the only thing I'm really trying to do, is just perfectly follow the system. I know I've done as much modeling and testing as you possibly can. I know in the long run, if you just perfectly stick to the system, it's net profitable. So I'm just trying to do that day in and day out. So if you're just joining in right now, I have pending orders, but I have not made any trades today. I am biased towards the bullish side, and that's for multiple reasons. Actually, 4 different reasons. Reason number 1, Elon and Trump are seemingly making up. Reason number 2, U.S.-China trade deals are going well, and they're not technically a done deal, but they're almost a done deal. Reason number 3 is we got a cooler than expected inflation report. And reason number 4 is we have an options market that is dominated by bulls. It is dominated by calls. So putting those all together, I'm looking for bullish opportunities. I'm only taking the bullish signals. Now, if today happens to be horrifically bearish, well, that means your boy's missing out. And whatever, that just means I didn't trade today. So I could survive that. So I am looking for bullish opportunities. So I'm only taking the bullish signals that Skynet fires. And it's actually getting pretty close to firing. I hope it does well, because we're going to find out. Not the most enthralled with the time. See, and this is a good real-time example of why sometimes that 15-minute Orbo, the odds, I've tested it extensively. The odds are more impressive with the 30-minute Orbo and with the initial bounce, the 60-minute Orbo. I know people are trying to currently popularize the trading the 15-minute Orbo, but what's awkward about it is if you ask them the stats, I'm like, Will, how often does it work? How often does it not work? They don't have those numbers because they just randomly learned it and thought it was a good trade without actually knowing the stats on it, which is not a good way, in my humble opinion, to engage in the market. In my humble opinion, but hey, I'm just one guy. What do I know? What do I freaking know? Hang on, I'm getting an alert elsewhere. I'm getting an alert elsewhere. What is today? Today is the 11th. Ooh, my account's
Order
now.
filled.
Whoa, order filled.
Order submitted.
Order submitted. Well, golly freaking Lee. What? Oh, wait, is it trading on this? Oh, here we go. All right, where's my risk? 20. Okay. Max profit I'm going for up here, 21, because that will make me $1,000 per account. And I am trading on right here, 5 take profits right above my head, and then 20 Apex. So I'm trading on 25 accounts, going for a $1,000 max profit per account. But really what I care about is my own risk management. And that's what I'm attempting to update. So you're going to see me, wait, you guys can see what I'm doing, right? Or am I accidentally blocking it again? Okay, yeah, you guys can see. So I'm long NQ. I played the recapture of VWAP, and my risk is 35. I'm going to keep sliding my risk up until I can get to the break-even point. And then this isn't necessarily my profit target. If it turns before that, I might get out early with a profit. This is just my max profit target. And that just is because of some of the consistency rules that are present in SIM-to-funded trading. So I am long. I waited about 22 minutes to take a trade. I told you the 15-minute Orbo. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's really bad. If you ask me, it's just normally distributed. But I do need to very quickly fire off one more trade. So excuse me. All right, we're doing that. All right. All right. Just want to get this trade in. All right. If you are in the Discord, I did just fire off a trade. I'm taking a screenshot as quickly as I possibly can. My swing bot did fire. So if you are in the Discord, save that. Where are you guys? Swingers. Cool. All right. Cool. Did that. All right. Actually, I have a lot of things firing off right now, so I need to do some management here. Right. Place order, cancels order, exit. at 22,000. All right, place. All right. I'm also trading in my own futures account, and I'm trying to scale out a little bit. So on that one, I did, here, I could just show you, I guess. So this is my, oops, it's having a tough time coming over here. But here, let me just zoom in on this. So I'm trading, this one is the MNQ, and you can see that I'm long 5. I'm trying to dump 3 of them exactly at 22,000. I'm just expecting that people might be reacting to that level. And then I'll have 2 of my 5 as a runner to see if this is a big bullish day. But the reason I'm trading on this account is because I have none of the SIMDA funded rules. So really, I'm working on it. It's kind of my own playground for a new system that I've been working on, the Skynet system. So I've noticed that Skynet is far, far, far better when I end up like scaling in and scaling out. So that's why I'm kind of using this as my playground. But regardless, I'm long 5. I'm trying to get out of 3 all the way up here. It got pretty darn close, but unfortunately, no cigar. And as I'm doing that, why does it always have a tough time jumping screens here? Unfortunately, I'm currently back to break even on this, but am I supposed to update my risk? Probably so. 55. 52. Okay. All right, updating my risk. So right now I'm long at 70, and based on this push, instead of risking the intraday low, I'm just following my risk behind it, because remember, the name of the game is just minimizing your risk. Wait, you're gonna hear the bot go up. If we hit 22,000 flat, you're gonna hear my 3 of 5 get locked in, and then I have 2 runners. And if today's an amazingly bullish day, congrats, I have the runners, and that's what I'm attempting to do. But in the meantime, I am also attempting to keep my risk very small. All right, so I'm long at 70. I'm risking 54. I'm risking 16 points. So if this gets hit, I'll be down 320 per account multiplied by 20 accounts. But on the flip side, if my profit target hits, I'll be up 25K. So right now, I have a 3-to-1 risk to reward. My reward is 3x larger than my current risk, roughly. Actually, almost exactly. And if I wanted to, I could be overly aggressive and just move it up to this wick right here at VWAP. I'm a little bit afraid just because VWAP is so commonly retested, but that is a very valid point. If you were a person, you're like, you know what, NQ, it's pretty volatile today. The market, it's a little bit haywire. If you're like, yeah, I just want to take no risk, that's a completely fair, valid trade. It is enticing. I think there's a shot. If we take out this 954 high, I would be interested. I would definitely be interested in just moving my stop to break even. My concern here is these 10 a.m. trades that are most likely going to hit in how much? In 2.5 minutes. My concern is getting wicked out to the downside where it wicks me out and then pops anyway. That's the big thing going through my mind, which, but if it does that, it's just so close. I don't know if I could reasonably move my risk right here. Right now, my risk is perfectly at the system level, what the system is calling for. Perfectly at it. And if it gets wicked out, it gets wicked out. The system takes losses. Any trading system in this world takes losses. There's no such thing as a perfect system. But what I am very interested in is if we could take out 22,000, which we've already seen people react to here. I just want to move my stop to break even just so I could have a free lottery ticket play. Or what I could do is I could just lock in $200 right now and just call it a day. Do I want to take the 10 a.m. risk? I have 90 seconds to figure this out. You know what we could do? We could rip a little bit of Wheel of Destiny to decide what we are doing with these trades. Ooh. Well, folks, that doesn't seem so good. That's That is not the result we wanted, team. Best 2 out of 3. Do it again. Oh, now I'm a bit concerned. Maybe I should be moving my stop to break even just to take the risk off the table. That's 8 out of 10. Let's go. Just basically keep spinning it until it tells me exactly what I want it to. That's also a very valid strategy. Well, 20 seconds and the Wheel of Destiny is saying, it's not saying anything good, that's for sure. Come on, maybe I could get lucky. Just get lucky. All right, we're about to change the hour. I'm not expecting some large pop at 10. It's just there happens to be a lot of bots that run 30 minutes into the day. So you see how Vol just picked up a little bit there? That's kind of what I was hoping wouldn't go against me. And granted, it didn't go against me. I'm actually really thinking about just moving my stop up to break even right now. I'm really, really thinking about it. Should I do it? Yes, no, maybe so. Protect or leeway. Protect or leeway. Protect or leeway. My life would be, if we could just hit 22,000, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I could just move my stop up, take all the risk off the table. If it hits me, it hits me. If it hits my profit, it hits my profit. Like, whatever. Oh, it's just like, it would be an early move to do it right now before. Fuck it. I feel like when I'm hemming and hawing so much, I already know the right answer. I just can't get myself to do it. So stop is at break even. If we don't break out, if we get rejected, whatever, I'm break even on the day. Worst case scenario is nothing. Best case scenario is I make 25K. Remember, this is all a game about risk management. Risk management, risk management. So that's my version of managing risks. I put my stop just above break even. I pay for commissions, whatever. Whatever. It's a lotto ticket play. I'm listening to the wheel. The wheel told me to protect myself. It's shouting red in my face. And hey, even though it hit it anyway, my other trade is about to hit. The actual system trade that I am rocking over here on a non-SIMDA funded, because I want to collect data outside of the SIMDA funded rules. It's getting close. It just needs to hit 22,000. Come on. It's a tick away. No way. It's 1 tick away from taking profit. Don't do this to me. Not in front of my friends. No, don't do this. 1 fucking tick. Come on. Let's hear the order filled. Come on. You could do it, Tonto. I'm just trying to fill 3 of those 5. What are we doing? Here? 1 more tick. That's all I asked for. This is getting to the point of being embarrassing. Has there been a trader who's had as many absurdly close calls, but yet just can't get it as me? I really think that I might have some sort of record for almost getting a fill and then not. That hit 21,999.75, and my 1 fill is at 22,000. Like, statistically, this is getting crazy. That's just frustrating. And now this is coming for me. Well, whatever. It's going to be what it's going to be. I have no risk. We are apparently not wanting to party at 6,050 is the vibe that I'm getting here. Not wanting to test this level as of right now. Similar to before. Well, the Qs are actually stuck in their zone still. The SPY broke out, but not convincingly. Even the Russell is still kind of in its initial range. Tesla getting hit, trying to bounce back, but not that convincingly. What's the flow look like? Mag 7, double bottom bounce. SPY popped up until about 10:01. then getting a bit hit. Well, honestly, beggars can't be choosers. I was hoping that the 10 a.m. orders would go in my way, and they did just enough to convince me to put my stop to break even. So even though this is, maybe I'll get lucky here. Even though this is kind of rough right now, it could have gone the other way and I would have already had a locked-in loss. So I really can't complain, because the worst case scenario, and this is like I'm always trying to drill home protect your risk, protect your downside. If you are obsessed, borderline paranoid about your downside risk, that's how you're going to win in this game. That's 100% how you're going to win in this game. And the winners are going to take care of themselves. So as much as like it's a bummer, whatever. I mean, about 30 to 40% of my trades end up being break even anyway, because that's how the system works. So does it hurt emotionally? Yeah. But that's why I guess I'm attempting to remind myself day in and day out to be a cold, emotionless robot and just take the strategy trades. Just take exactly, because I know in the long run, I've mathematically proven it, that this is a winning strategy. So I just need to stick to it and really I need to be disciplined enough to stick to the strategy that has proven edge. And then I need to also be disciplined enough to not get oversized, because even with a good system, if you oversize on the bad beat, that's when you get blown out. But 50, I do need to move this up a bit. Just trying to stick to the system. Just hit 22,000. I like that higher low. Maybe I use this higher low to guarantee $160. I mean, it is all green. 160 is better than nothing, but it's just so close to that. It is. That would be nice. It would be nice guaranteeing myself $160. Because I feel like if it breaks, there's such a high odds chance. If we were to break this wick, I feel like there's such a high odds chance of it coming down for me anyway, because I'm on the north side of VWAP. Yeah, I'm moving my stop up. So no matter what, $150 per account. Technically, this is the one time I'm allowing myself to break the system where I'm more aggressive with my stop than the system is. The system would currently call for it to be at 55 down here. But if I do that, it's just psychologically, it's tough being up $400 to then that would be a loss of $300. So just to have that $700 swing, it doesn't feel so good. So whatever, it's up. Because it's so close, there is a high chance that this gets hit, but at least I give myself a fighting chance that if there is a breakout, well, I get some of the action. So I just feel like where my stop was, like I said, just above VWAP, there's going to be so many. Look at that. Oh, we almost heard it. No way did it do it again. No fucking way did it do it again. One tick away. One tick away again. This game is rigged. We're getting short ladder attacked in the dark pool, my friends. Fucking rigged. No, dude. No way. A tick away again. Brutal. It's going to be one of those days. I can feel it in my loins. That's insane. The effing globalists, the damn pirates, all the stream snipers. Yeah.
Order canceled.
All right. Made 150 per account on all. Well, that one was 135. I guess a little bit of a weird fill. Whatever. I had to protect it. Knowing my luck, it wouldn't have actually hit 70.25 here. And I would still be in if I even did the break even, no less the system calling for 55, even if it kept, dude, if this bounces out of here, in a certain sense, I would deserve it, but I just cared more about being in the green, keeping my account going. Look at that. Fuck. Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer and a half. Market makers just swept through all the stops. Well, that's not how it works at all, but if you want to believe that, believe it. You know that market makers are only taking the side of trades when other people want to trade, right? Like, I very much hope you guys get that. Like, when I'm blaming market makers, I'm making fun of people who think that market makers are coming for their system. Market makers are not, no fucking way. That's crazy. Market makers are, their liquidity.
Order filled.
All right, well, I got some of them locked in. Order filled. So I just locked in 3 of my 5 on my actual account, not the sim to funded. Replace order. And now I have 2 runners. Replace order. Okay. So I have those runners. I locked in 178. I locked in 3 of my 5 minis, and then I have 2 runners, and the stop is at break even. So if it trends, it trends, and we're gonna rock it. I cannot believe that happened. It really wouldn't have even hit the break even. That's brutal. I'd be up $400 right now. It's a bad beat, folks. Bad beat. Oh, that's a brutal one. That's a brutal one. He's going to wish he had that one back, folks. He's going to wish he could have taken that one back. Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a toughie. That is a toughie. Whatever. I'm barely even pissed. I'm not pissed. You're pissed. I'm not angry. You're angry. I'm not. You're the one who's angry about it. I'm not angry. I barely even think about it anymore. Oh, a dip right back in and a bounce out. IWM's fuck, dude. We're getting this range. I'm not angry. I barely even think about it. It's not gonna make me freak the fuck out. Totally not. I'm not that kind of a guy. I'm not. No, you guys are. You guys aren't listening to me. You're saying that I'm mad. Like, listen, I'm telling you, I'm not mad. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not angry at all. Stop accusing me of being mad. I'm not mad about it. I'm already over it, folks. Literally, it's at, like, I don't even know what you're talking about. It's not. I'm not even thinking about the fact that I just got fucking wicked out, and it would have been fine, and I would have been up hundreds and hundreds of dollars per account, and I would have been up probably 10 to 20K. Like, I'm not thinking about that at all. It's like, it doesn't even bother me. I'm not in any way thinking about how I got fucking wicked out at 10:08. Trust me. I would be honest with you. I would be honest with you if I care. I don't care. I'm not fucking mad. I'm not mad at all. You're mad. It sounds like you're totally okay with it. Exactly. See? You guys, I am totally, that's very observant. Finally, we have a viewer who's really paying attention to the show, and he recognizes that I'm not mad, and I'm in fact totally, thank you for paying attention to the show. How's the bullish gamma looking? Yeah, you guys are just trying to trigger me at this point, but you can't because I'm not actually mad. Yeah, I would have only been up fucking $800 per account. Oh, wow, look at that. We're going from my max profit target on the day, which if I just kept the break even there, I would have been fine. Yeah, no. Cool. Cool. Really, really cool here. Yep. Not mad. As soon as this hits 22,000 right here, my profit target was at 20. I was long at 70. I moved it up here, took a little bit of money, wicked out, and my profit target is right there. We got within 6 points of it. Barely mad. Barely mad. Not even. Just, I could have been up 25K. All these accounts could have been at 54. Barely pissed off about it. Like, it's out of my mind. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm totally not going to freak out when it actually hits this, and I would have been up $25,000. I'm totally not. I'm not. I'm going to be super cool with it, and it's not going to bother me at all because I am a disciplined trader who's emotionless, and I just take my trades as I should. I'm not angry. I'm cool with it. I'm sick. No, it's cool. Don't worry about it, guys. How the fuck is MicroStrategy down? I fucking hate MicroStrategy. I don't think anyone actually makes money off trading it. It trades like a piece of shit. At least I'm still long on these micros. 178 locked in and 178 running. Not bad for a 3K account. It started with 2K yesterday. In terms of percentage return, it's looking actually pretty solid. Well, we are trying to get out of this range, so that's exciting. We're almost back to this intraday high on both the SPY and the Qs. Let me mark that out, just so when that breaks and rips, I'm totally not going to be angry about it. Why would I be angry? Barely thinking about it. Out of sight, out of mind. Totally not on tilt. All right, so on the screen, we broke to the downside on the 15-minute Orbo. And like I said, on any given day, there's a 50-50 shot of retracing all the way back to the other side of the Orbo. And that's what we're about to do. On SPY, it's at 604.25. And on the Qs, it's at 535.81. So we're about to break to the upside on the 30-minute Orbo. Interesting. Let's go to the 3-minute on all this. Palantir's having a good day. Avago's having a good day. IWM. Let me know when this gets back above 216. I'll just set an alert. Tesla, Palantir, MSTR. Fuck MSTR. Avago's looking good. ASML's looking good. Meta's flat. Nvidia's bouncing back. Apple not so good. Microsoft is taking off. All right. I should update that stop. Yep. Remember, my initial target, my max target was at 22,020. We just hit 18.5. Not pissed. Not pissed at all. All right. 30-minute Orbo breakout on the SPY. Not that far away on the Qs. Microsoft leading the world higher. Apple not so much. Nvidia is getting a bit of a recovery. Would love for Avago to get it back above 250. Would love to see 260 as well. Palantir is getting a pump. Tesla's trying to recover. Would love to see it back above 335. Remember, the upside targets, 340 is important, 350 is important, 375 is important. Oh, brother. ASML continuing higher. Wow. All right. SPY, that Orbo breakout. Kind of close on NQ. Now it'd only be up $600 instead of $150. Just 4x better. You know, normal stuff. Barely pissed about it. Turn the translucent candles on and forget it. That's what I need to do. Well, we'd be real close to my max profit. Fuck. Do you have any spot gamma overview, how to read Gex, Net, OI, and Hero? Yeah, in the Discord I do. All right. What do we hit? 18.75. Wow. We would have been right there. Son of a gun. Bitcoin's back above 110, and yet MicroStrategy is not ripping. It's almost as if it's not Bitcoin. Avago. is actually looking pretty decent, up 2%. It's the biggest gainer on my watch list, followed by Palantir, followed by Tesla. Palantir is having a good day, though, as well. Well, it's official. I could have made 25K. Instead, I didn't. I made 4K. You know, just missing out on $21,000. Cool. Cool. Well, if you want to suck at trading as bad as I do, remember to sign up for Apex and use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, to get 80% off. They are today's stream partner. Check it out. You can get the 50K eval. It only costs about $33 if you use that code GOONIE, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And if you do it, I hope you have better trades than I do. I hope you have far better trades than I do. 4K is nothing to cry about. It's more of I'm upset at the poor decision making. Poor decision making is what I am not a happy camper about. This whole game is just about decisions. You don't want to be resulting. You don't want to be happy or sad based on did you make or lose money. You want to be happy or sad based on did you make the right decisions. I mean, if it came down like to just being happy or sad for making money, here's 11K. I'm up 12K, 7.8, 3.7, 1.4, $84, down 97, up 3.7. Like it's popping here. Like once you really get to the point of rewiring your brain with being happy or sad versus did you make good or bad decisions, that's what matters, because all you're in control of is the decision making. You are by no means in control of what the market's about to do. That's a very, very important. Like, just be happy or sad based on did you follow your rules, did you not? And I could have just kept, even though I was overly aggressive with moving my stop up initially, I could have kept it at break even, and I would now be up 25K. So basically, I secured 4K, even though if I was fine with being break even on the day, I could have now had 25. So it is what it is. Palantir is looking good. I'm going to set this alert on Tesla. I want it to break above this recent high that we saw at 1009-ish. Avago is looking good. ASML is looking great. NVIDIA is looking pretty solid. Meta's coming back around. Microsoft is not fucking around. Microsoft is pumping. I see a lot of you guys commenting QUBT. This is just another quantum computing play. It's because of the recent commentary from Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, that like we're at a whatever point in quantum computing. Good old hindsight, I know. Good old hindsight. I mean, I still have this runner. This is another point of why sometimes trading micros is actually better for your psychology than minis, because look at this. I was able to, hang on, I'm trying to zoom in and show you guys. So I went long, I locked in how many ever I locked in. Why is that not right? This is my stop order, cancel order. Okay. How do I get this? Yeah, I'll just move this one all the way up to this high. And if it goes, it goes. But anyway, so what you're seeing here, this is a completely different platform. This is not SIMDA funded. What's on the screen right now is my own legit, real funded futures account. I'm kind of doing it to, like I alluded to before, kind of a sandbox for my new system. And also to kind of prove to people that even with a small futures account, you can still make money. This account was funded with $2,000. I started trading it yesterday, made about 1.2, 1.3. I think the day before that, I actually like lost $5, something like that, something small. The first day was a scratch day. But anyway, As you can see, I'm not trading NQ, I'm trading MNQ. So I went long 5, which is basically half of an NQ. I got out of 3 at a measured target, and now I just have 2 runners. And you can see the stop's already above break even. So I locked in 178, and I have 229 running. So not really a bad day, whatever. Like, that's $400. So once again, I'm in a situation where trading the smaller product is actually making me more money because I traded NQ and I only made 150. But then with this one, I was able to scale out, be calmer, manage my emotions, and look at this. I caught this runner, and it's going to be better. I mean, literally the first portion, which was 1/3 of it, is already now a better return because it hit 22,000. Lock that in. Yeah, it's just psychology, man. Psychology. All right, we broke out there. That we did. Where is the Discord? Where is the Discord? All right. Where is the Discord? Where is the Discord? All right, if you are in the Discord, I'm getting some notes from Piper that she fired off on the day. So there you are. There you are. Should I take this trade in my account? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. All right, just did that. We're getting a breakout alert on Palantir, Qubit, Tesla is even going. The bulls are in control, team. Teamity, team. The bulls are in control. Yes, they are. I think we might be targeting that 60-90 level. And I might be missing out. Well, I can't say I'm missing out because I do have this trade on. So I'm not missing out if we go. Actually, I don't even want this up here. If it's a runner, I'll do my downside protection, but I want to ride this trend as long as I can. As long as I freaking can. Hello? Dude, we are popping. What's the account looking like now? Nothing? Really? Is MicroStrategy dragging me down that much that I'm not above 400? What the fuck's going on? Well, MicroStrategy is green now. I've been cheated. I've been bamboozled. Where are we at? Swingers, thick trades. What the fuck, dude? This has to just not be updating, right? That's not fair. This should be over 400. That's bullshit. Okay, finally. Just had to do the old reload. So crushing it. Up 11K on IWM, 5K on Tesla, 7K on Bitcoin, 2K on the SPY, $800 on the Qs, break even on Avago, and down 3.5K on MSTR. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now, I'm 6 for 7 in the green, and the account is officially back over 400K. If you guys want these trades in real time, that's what the Discord is for. I mean, ask anyone in the Discord. Whenever I do anything, I post it as soon as I possibly can. And here are my year-to-date results, up 341%, about $310,000. So in about 5.5 months, pretty freaking good. I'm happy with it. Qubits, that's going crazy. Palantir's going crazy. Tesla. I want to see if Tesla breaks this intraday high. I want to see it back above 335. Palantir is going. That's a new all-time high, I believe. Avago is looking good. ASML, we've been talking. I never caught this play. I do have it in my long-term account. What am I at? I put ASML in my long-term account. Where is that? I don't know what my fill is on it. I'm trying to check really quick. I'm trying to check ASML. When did I pick that one up? I don't know. I'm up 10%. So if it's trading, I must have gotten in at the low 700s if I'm up 10% on this. So once again, that's my long-term account on ASML there. On old ASML. Old ASML. Someone said this is sluggish today. Back below 400. Well, that's a psychological hit. ASML going, a lot's going. The only fucking red thing is MSTR, the beta. I don't even know why. Ooh, ASML just caught a nice bid. Tesla, Palantir's looking good. Avago, ASML, QUBT, even Microsoft is looking awesome. That's a beautiful breakout. Oh, what do we get here? Let me go to the 5-minute. If you're looking for the next options resistance, it's all the way up here at 6075. Like, you definitely have some distance. Definitely have some distance. Mag 7 at 1008 just started a rip. On the SPY, once again, 1008, 1009, everything just started to rip. We got the 30-minute Orbo breakout soon enough. Actually, if we break this high that we just put in, then we'll also have the initial balance breakout. So if we make a fresh intraday high from here, because it just passed 1030, so the first hour of trading is now complete. If we make a fresh intraday high, that means both the 30-minute and the 60-minute, aka the initial balance, the IB, had a bullish breakout. And it's a little bit confusing because the 15-minute Orbo actually had a bearish breakdown. And that's what I'm saying. This is a good real-life example of sometimes the 15-minute is deceiving. It's a little bit deceiving. So let's see if we can make a new intraday high, because once again, that would be here. I could just mark it out. As soon as we do that, really good odds for closing above 603.47, really good odds for closing above 534.90, even better odds for closing above 603.08 and 534.21. So I'm looking at the previous trading sessions high and close. Microsoft ripping. QU quantum computing also ripping up 36%. Microsoft up 1. ASML not stopping. Seems like it's going up for 400. Broadcom having a Avago, Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, currently struggling at 250. Nvidia making a good intraday recovery. Meta not doing anything. Microsoft looks so good. Apple not doing shit. RUM flat, down by 5 cents. Oh, Netflix is looking good. Netflix is looking good. You don't say. Old Netflix. Netty Netflix. Netty Netflix. Coin flat. CRWV. A little bit of a flag going on. Tesla. I really want to see 340. MSTR try to break out, but now it's just back onto the top of its. It's just consolidation. So if you're doing that Dawn chain type of trading or a Darvis box or whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's all the same thing. It tried to break out, but it's struggling right now. Didn't even get its upside gap fill of 398.91, so that'd be cool. Bitcoin is on top of 110. I like that. I'm looking for a test of 112, the all-time high, hopefully soon. I really thought we would already be at it. IWM coming into that resistance at 216. Once again, that's for the small cap sector. For the old small cap. All right. Netflix. We're a little bit of a breather over here. Let me get this off the screen. I think it's a bit distracting. Except it takes forever to switch it from one monitor to another. I need to speed that up. All right. Well, I'm still riding it. I'm long at 21,970. My stop's at 80. I'm going to move that up. There's no point. I'm going to move it up to 22,010. So I moved it up 40 points. So my stop is 40 points in the money, guaranteeing that even if this gets hit, I'm up 160, already locking in 178. So thus far, the initial push with the new system, with this version of Skynet, has actually been really successful. Really successful. Not going to complain about it at all. The only thing I'm going to complain about is my own shit trading with Apex and Take Profit Trader. Remember, Apex is the stream partner. Right now, they're running an 80% off deal. Use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, to get 80% off, which means your 50K account eval would only be around $33. We're seeing the first maybe like breather of the day. Maybe it wants to come back and retest. Could be a possible. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that retest because then maybe I could load back up on the sim to funded. On the flip side, if it goes, it's going to go without me on the sim to funded. But obviously, my own futures account, my own options account will still be catching it. But if we pull back enough, I would take another long entry. If we pull back enough, I would take another long entry on my sim to funded account. So got out of that a little too early, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Treasury Secretary Bessent is now talking. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent, China should not be allowed to export its way back to prosperity. The Trump tax bill will bar U.S. profits taxed elsewhere. This is all from Bessent. The U.S. tax and spending bill will prevent corporate tax revenues from being trained to foreign treasuries. Man, Netflix is going. Tesla's trying to fight its way back up. All right, I don't know why that alert went off. That's stupid. Why is this like erroneously firing? That's stupid. All right, I'm just going to remove it. Q's made a fresh high. SPY not far away. It is holding this breakout of 60-50 key level. I wouldn't be that surprised if there's a pullback, test, base, and then a rip. What time is it? 10:36. We're only an hour into the day. Maybe I'm seeing things that aren't there. Maybe it's just more of a wish from me because I would love to take advantage of that. But if anything, this might just be gearing up for pop straight up to the next major open interest level. The SPY peaked at 1027, slight pullback. The Mag 7 is long and strong. Long and strong. IWM's picking up. All right, this account is looking good. We are at 402, crushing it. Break even, green, and only MicroStrategy is fucking me up at this point, which I don't have as much time on that as I would like. All right, so we are waiting. So the NASDAQ QQQ did get the bullish initial balance breakout. The SPY is very close. It just needs to make a new intraday high, and it is only about 10 cents away from that. Only about 10 cents away from that. All right, I'm moving my stop up on those micros to 22,015, guaranteeing myself $180. Which is not bad trading 2 micros, $180, and it's only a fifth of the size of a mini. That's crazy. Man, I really fumbled that one this morning, didn't I? What a beautiful, I was so ready for the dip buy. I executed upon it, and then I just was a little bit too, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to guarantee some green, and I just thought to myself, hey, if it breaks this low, there's a good chance I'd be break even anyway, so you might as well make some money. But it was one of those weird circumstances where that did, in fact, not happen. Man, I really would not mind a pullback to 50 to 47, like right here. I think somewhere in here, I'm looking at the open interest level. I'm looking at some of these wick highs. I really wouldn't mind a pullback, a base, and then a pop. Then we take out the current high and then rip all the way to 6075. I would love that as a setup. That would be actually probably the trade of the day. The trade of the day. I'll pull back to somewhere between 50 and 47.5. As soon as it starts to pick back up, your risk is whatever that recent low is. Minimal risk, maximum reward. And then even there, if we break 75, you may be able to ride it all the way up to 90. Ugh. I hope it happens, but alas, I have no clue. Alas, I have no clue. Bitcoin battling it out at 110. Palantir is the biggest gainer on my... Dude, Palantir is going. New all-time high. Palantir. How many of you in here are in Palantir right now? This thing is popping. Popping. Popping, popping, popping. I know I'm never around much anymore due to work and family, but I want to drop in because we got the baby's gendered yesterday. It's a boy. Massive congrats, Bilbo. That's so exciting, man. Congrats. Seriously. I'm so happy for you and your growing family. Very cool. Very, very cool. Hope everything is as good and less hectic than it can possibly be, but I'm sure things are frantic and you're busy, busy, busy. So I hope you guys, you and your family, are managing it well. A lot of people in here are in Palantir. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. Oh, Palantir. I have some of it in a long term, but not enough based on how well it's been doing. Definitely not enough. What is that recent low? 24. All right, I'm going to move my stop up to 23. So no matter what, guarantees 212, already locked in 178. That is a... And those were only trading micros. I'm going to make more than double my money trading micros than I did an actual mini at double the size, man. Man, I'm eating my slice of humble pie this morning. I really misplayed that one. I didn't lose money. I just definitely didn't make the money I should have. Oh, and it's a bummer because you need those days. You need those outsized gain days because... Remember, the market's normally distributed. You're going to be taking losses. That's part of the game. So you definitely don't want to do what I did and fumble a good money-making opportunity because you need those to pay off your losses where sometimes the market just goes against you. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Probably depends on location. One of the ways... Probably, what are you guys stealing over here? Oklo. Oklo's been a popular one lately. I see that one hitting what's actually the most traded. Let's see what the most traded contracts today are. Here's your map. SPX, Tesla, SPY, NVIDIA, Qs, Palantir, NDX, Meta, CRWV, and UNH is getting a lot of trading. These are the top 10 traded things thus far today. Look at the drop off though between SPX and Tesla. So the number one traded thing, 5.35 billion. The next one's not even at a billion at 832 million. SPX is just such a bigger product. It's more than 10x bigger than SPY. So when I tell you guys if you want to trade SPY, great. It's super liquid, especially as a retail trader. You're not going to have any liquidity issues. But in terms of what key levels to pay attention to, SPX is literally traded 11 to 12 times more today. So that's why we care about the SPX levels over the SPY, because it's just such a bigger product. Such a bigger product. Number 11 is Apple. IWM's 12. MSCR's 13. There's your Oklo at 14. And Avago is at 15. Some popular names. Positive gamma there. A little bit of a... What's this going to be? What's this little dipperoonie going to be? What is this dipperoonie gonna be? That's bullish. Definitely buy some bullish. I have no interest in taking bearish trades today. If you are taking bearish trades today, I wish you the best of luck because you're just fucking nuts. That's a crazy person thing to do. Dude, Micron is the silent winner in the semis world. Yeah, but what about the very loud, even bigger winners such as AMD, ASM? Like literally, what? The whole semiconductor world's going up, but there's other ones with far better gains, such as the king itself, NVIDIA, which is now the world's #1 company. Why go for the silent winner when you could have the very loud, well-documented, very popular winner of NVIDIA? Or you could just take advantage of the entire sector and play SMH or Soxel if you want it to be levered. But I have, like, why play Micron when there's bigger, more popular names out there? There is an advantage to things being well known and well documented. You want to be in that play where if it catches like financial success, it also has just the popularity, as in people talk about it. If you look at the mentions of Micron versus something like NVIDIA, NVIDIA is going to dwarf it. There's so many more people who care about AMD, Avago, and NVIDIA compared to Micron. Wow, that was it. Was that the dip that they're going to give? Was that the fucking dip that they're going to give? What time is it? It's 10:45. Well, we're stalling out here. Which way is this range going to break? I saw this wick. I actually might move my stop up to that wick. 30. Yeah, my stop is now up to 30. I'm long at 70, so I'm up 60 points. Guaranteed. So 240 guaranteed on those final two. I locked in 3 of the 5. I have 2 more runners. Wow. That's going to be crazy. Palantir is just disgusting. It won't stop. It's definitely the biggest gainer. Avago, speaking of semis, Avago broke 250. It's actually going back up to 251. Look at that dip. Barely a dip. Barely a freaking dip. Barely a dip. It's about 15 points away. Oh, 15 points away. Barely a freaking dip. I got out way too early. Comically early. IWM really not wanting to hit that 216 level. Hopefully it catches a bid here soon. MSTR, fuck that stock. I'm so tired of it. ASML breathing, NVIDIA breathing, Meta, Microsoft taking a bit of a breather. The only thing that doesn't take a breather here is Palantir. It does not take a breather. Okay, if I were to go long here, 15 to 20 points of risk. That's $300 to $400 on NQ, which would put me in the red on the day. If I get hit, I could switch over to MNQ, and that would cut it in half. And then I would also have the ability to scale out. Maybe I should do that. Profit target. And then some runners. It's not the craziest. Or I could realize that I'm being stupid, not following a system, and in a certain sense, I'm revenge trading. And I'm revenge trading 70 points, 75 points above where I was first long. So maybe I just need to chill and come back in the afternoon. And I'm saying that out loud, and that's obviously the right thing to do. I feel like I'm missing this fucking train. I'm missing it. This is gonna, if it pops and goes, there's such an opportunity all the way up to 75. And the only reason I'm considering it right now is because of this minimal risk. Like, you could just risk this 1040 low. Oh, painful. ES might also be a different way to take advantage of this. Bearish engulfing candle over here. We're taking out these highs at 61. 10 points higher. Oh, brother. Oh, Scooter. Oh, Scooter, oh, Scooter, oh, Scooter. Oh, Scooter. Oh, man, I just would have been exactly... I was in the right place, right time, and I just completely fucking fumbled it. I think my only... Of course, I could just take a shot and try to rip it right here and then just pray that this consolidation breaks out and we don't have some sort of retest of this level. But I think the smart play... Yeah, that might be the lucky degen play and it just rips all the way up. But I think the smart play is if you're taking the long to wait for a pullback and go long into the pullback and not chasing it at the high. I think that's the smart decision. And alas, that's what I need to do, because if you make dumb decisions, it only takes one bad beat to blow it all out. It only takes one bad beat to blow it all out. When the big wigs say they're long Bitcoin but short MSTR, are they selling MSTR calls or straight up short the stock? What do you think? You literally just have to look at the data. Go look at the open interest on options and go look at the short interest on MSTR. I don't know who you mean the big wigs are long Bitcoin and short MSTR, or you said they're selling MSTR. No, short MSTR. I don't know where you're getting that from. I haven't heard that. Might be true, but once again, I've not heard that. I don't know where you're getting it from. And once again, instead of just hearing it, you could easily go fact check it. Go check out the open interest. Check out the delta on MSTR options. And then from there, all you then just cross it with the short interest on MSTR. Not short volume, which is a different thing. A lot of people confuse short interest and short volume. Those are definitely not the same things. Big wigs, British people in wigs. Oh, those. So like big wigs. Those kind of people. Trump on Musk apology. We have this hitting again. Hang on. A Trump on Musk apology. I thought it was very nice he did that. All right. Well, why isn't Tesla ripping then? Rip it back. I thought it was very nice that he did that. That's funny. That's apparently big news. Like literally it's hitting the wire right now. President Trump on Elon Musk apology. I thought it was very nice that he did that. Okay, if you say so. If you say so. Yeah, we are now caught up in another range on SPX from 6053 to 6058, 5-point range, going sideways pretty much ever since 1020. We really haven't made any nice moves in about 30 minutes. Patience, patience, patience. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There she goes. There she goes. Q's new intraday high. SPY did get that initial balance breakout to the upside. There she goes. Oh, there she goes. Oh, let's see what this delta flow is looking like over here. 6056. That's about 15 points of upside to the next open interest level. There she goes. Tesla could look better. IWM could look better. Fuck MSTR. How's this account looking? Back to below 400. We're teetering. I just need $40. Teetering on that big psychological level. There she goes. What dicks? I'm still in those. Yeah, I'm still in the micros. 2 of them. Just have some runners. Just have some runners. I'm going to move it up to 35. 22,035 is my stop. So guaranteeing 260. Locked in 178. That is not a bad return. A $450 return more, a $500 return if I were to get out now on a 3K account percentage-wise. Dude, this small account futures challenge is working out well. Once again, funded with 2K, small losing day to get started, a huge winning day yesterday, just running the system, and then seemingly another decent day today. Another decent day today. Yeah, 450 at minimum, but if it keeps going, this thing could really get going. The SPY is trying to get going from this intraday range. I'm not seeing the most important levels here. I'd be a little bit more concerned if we were doing this battle right at 6,050. But we're just really consolidating on top, which I believe is increasing the odds of, if we get that breakout, of us pumping all the way to 6,075. That's my next major open interest level. Palantir just keeps going. Avago just keeps going. Tesla's not doing anything. AMSL's chilling. So's Nvidia. So's Meta. Microsoft having a pretty good day. Apple, red day. RUM's still down 5 cents. Netflix, decent recovery there. Up about 1.4%. Not bad at all. CRWV is vomiting. The party might be over there. It might be over there. Oh. The fact that I was in all the way back here around 950, pretty much at the bottom, and I got out on this little fake out in here, this bullshit. If I just waited to 1009, it waked me out at whatever this drop was, 1008, 1007, and then it pumped at 1009, literally off by a minute or two. Brutal. But ain't that the game of trading? Ain't that just the game of trading? CRWV is getting smoked right now. Why can't we see the money in CRWV kindly pivot over back to IWM? Is that too much to ask for? Too much to ask for? Palantir's nonstop. Avago's great. Tesla's flat. ASML's flat. Nvidia's potentially picking up right there. Meta's potentially catching a bid. Microsoft, big pump, a little bit of a pullback. The Q's just made a new intraday high. The SPY not far away from it. And even the small cap sector is attempting to pick back up. Made a new high at 1018, and we're not that far away from it. I want to see it break out and take out 216. I was loving it when it was at 218 in pre-market trading. Obviously, that did not hold because we had, what, a $3.50 dip up until 948. Oh, brother. The SPY, the SPY, the SPY. And the Q's. Missed opportunity. But I did sell a shitload of premium. How much money is that up? Let's start checking these numbers. I'm trying to just do anything I can to make sure I don't revenge trade here. Oh, those are golden. Those are golden. Is it really that much to ask for? Like, am I being the crazy person asking for a little bit of a dip back to 60.50 so I can go long again? Like, is it really that? Is this really just going to go without me again? Dips enough earlier today to knock me out, but then when it comes to this dip, it's just not going to do it. It's just going to rip without looking back. Come on. Come on now. This game is rigged. Let the kids play. Let the kids play. Bitcoin just chilling at 110, not really doing the most over there. Palantir taking a little bit of a breather now. Avago looking good. How is your QUBT, this quantum computing? Oh, getting hit now. Did pop all the way up to almost 21, down to 19. Maybe it bases, makes a higher low. You might be able to catch an afternoon pump on it. Nvidia, maybe putting in that higher low. ASML looking great. Tesla not doing anything. Palantir first breather. MicroStrategy sucks ass. Apple catching a bid. Fuck. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. That's all I have to say about that is, oh, brother. Wow. I'm crushing it over there. All right. We're just battling it out at the initial bounce high on both the SPY and the Qs. Avago is great. Tesla, I wish it would catch a bid. Nvidia is picking up. MSTR somehow in there. Fuck that stock. Why do I keep trading it? I feel like I'm just going back to a toxic relationship. I really do. Have you ever tried canned bacon? Hey, my Qs I'm up on my Qs. How's the account looking? I just got an alert from Public that I'm somehow I'm making money. Back above 400. Won't complain about that. Will not complain about that. All right. Maybe a little fake out, then to a dip I could go long into. Yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. Are we missing any news here? I'm open to reconciling with Elon after seeing his latest post. Elon knows I love him. JD knows this too. I give the best and biggest reconciliations. Everyone knows this. Let's go. Wait, well, this has to be a joke, right? Like, he didn't actually say that, did he? No, it was a joke. Parody. Parody, parody, parody. Close your eyes, bro. Okay, bro, what do you see? Nothing, bro. That's my world without you, bro. Bro. What else are we seeing? CPI just out. Great numbers. Fed should lower 1 full point. Would pay much less interest on debt coming due. So important. Pentagon cuts Air Force F-35 orders by 50%. Lockheed Martin crushed. Kramer, I want to own Tesla after saying I don't want to own Tesla a week ago. $60 lower. Classic Jimbo. Classic Jimbo Kramer. He Kramered the situation. The United States and China have reached a trade deal, dude. These edits, they're too much. They are too much. All right, I'm not really seeing anything else right now, folks. All quiet on the Western Front. The bulls are slowly but surely grinding this higher. I'm going to be looking for an opportunity, a dip to go long into, but the dip ain't coming, apparently. Apparently, I fumbled. Dude, I'd almost be up 100 points right now. Be up 98 points. Fuck. Well, I actually am on the micros. I'm still long at 21,970. So what a dip buy. Man, I snagged that on the personal account. Just, I fucking fumbled it on the sim defunded. That's a bit of a bummer. Avago is going. That's pretty sick, being as I already got calls on it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right. Well, there's really nothing to do. If you have a bullish position, ride it. If you don't have a bullish position, don't chase. You have to wait for some sort of pullback, but that's the name of the game. You know when you're chasing. As good as it might seem as an idea in the moment, we all know you can't do it because you're asking for too much trouble. So if you want to be bullish, wait for the pullback. If you're already bullish, ride the trend. And if you want to be bearish, well, that's just straight up stupid. So here is the game plan. I will be posting an update video later on today, and then we're going to be streaming tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. Stick to your trading plan, respect your risk, pay attention to who's really in control, and just go with the trend. And try to not get short ladder attacked in those dark pools. Show a little bit of love to Apex. They are the stream partner. Don't forget to use that code GOONIE, G-O-O-N-I-E, to get 80% off. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Super easy way to trade with someone else's money and minimize your own risk. That's what I have for you now. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for all the good vibes. Peace.